everything in? No.
All right, we are live.
Hello, guys. Welcome back. It's David's Vegas, and we are live. Can they hear me? All right, fantastic. So I have a special guest star today. We have Scott Morrow, a UNLV professor, and you teach what's the course now?
I teach a couple different courses.
Oh.
I teach electronic gaming device.
Yes.
I have an internship course.
Yes.
And my bread and butter course is Introduction to Casino Management.
To casino management. And by the way, so Scott, you should know, has a very illustrious career. And we're going to kind of go over that. First, we have to kind of introduce, I've been told I have to make these like standard announcements. So first of all, hello and welcome. And there's always that. I think I said that already. By the way, if you have any questions, feel free to fire away. So we have a few people here that are going to take, keep your questions. If they're real good, they'll save it for us. We're going to have a little bit of an AMA at the end or a Q&A at the end. If you like the podcast, please like and subscribe. And feel free as well. You can join us as a sponsor or a student. We have a little join button now, buddy. You can be a student right on the CEG educate. And this, by the way, this is going out on our education YouTube channel because that's what we both do, education. And then next week, we're going to have a special podcast with Lauren, who's exiting the building with her son, by the way, who you guys have met, and a bunch of our other teachers. So there's that. But okay, so back to Scott. So I think the first thing is you've had an amazing career.
Had a lot of good jobs.
Amazing. Good job. Like literally the best jobs. So he's got some pictures. Are these pictures going up? Can they see these at all? Like Atlantic City? We're going to start with the Atlantic City one, no? Lauren's back there. Lauren, you want to say hello? Come over here, honey. Come on. Come on. Say hello.
To say hello?
Yes.
Hi, everybody.
There we go. There's Lauren.
Thank you, David.
So Lauren is our GM. So she manages the school for myself and Alex. So she's kind of the head honcho here at the school.
And a rock star dealer.
And Rockstar Cosmo. She's also had some of the best jobs. I mean, she went
Laura's
from
very highly decorated.
Dude, it's unbelievable.
Very
lucky.
highly decorated.
I was not so lucky. I was bent over dealing
That's how
bird
good
game
I
for a
am.
while.
I'm giving my seat to Scott for this week, so you guys
Thank you
talk.
so much.
Lauren will be
It's
back
comfy,
next week.
too.
It is. It's been broken in.
I can go to
Better than
distance.
that
I can
chair
definitely
was
go to
sitting in last
distance.
week. That was horrible.
Yeah, good. No, the other chair
Bye,
is no
everybody.
good.
Have fun.
All right.
See you next week.
Yes. All right. So long and illustrious career. Okay. So let's go over. So today we're going to go over a few different topics. We're going to go over like the explosion of gaming because you're the guy. Like you know a lot of what's going on across the country and even internationally. You've worked in some international markets.
Yeah.
And then we're going to provide some sort of insight. So you've been a casino executive a few times. And so we're going to go into some of the ins and outs. We're going to talk about sort of, player comps, give some people some feedback. All right. So here we go. You start out at Atlantic City. So
18 years old.
You're 18, yeah, because you could legally gamble in Atlantic City at 18 and work on the floor. That's when first time I ever hit a casino floor was Bally's. I was so nervous. I was shaking.
That was my
I couldn't
first
even get
job.
the money. That was your first job?
Bally's.
Wow.
You were probably on my game.
I was in Philadelphia. Someone offered me a free roll of quarters, or a couple of roll of quarters, and like a coupon, buffet
And
or
a
something.
free bus ride.
And a free bus ride. And I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? I was on my way to like some convention. I was this young wannabe entrepreneur. Of course, right after that, I ended up in the military. But okay, so Atlantic City Bally's. Where else in Atlantic City?
I worked at the Sands,
Oh.
and I also worked at the Claridge. I did mostly at the Claridge. Did like 7 years. 1 year at Bally's, 1 year at Sands.
Yes.
And then I went over to the Claridge, and that was a really cool thing because, like we talked about last time, it was the first time that Atlantic City took a big step and went to triple odds on the crap table.
Wow.
So all the real crap players went there, and they had a really great group of crap dealers there, and I really, really liked working there.
Yeah, so you started as a dice dealer. That was your primary thing.
Yeah, first 7 years, that's all I did was deal dice.
And Atlantic City didn't have a bird game. No such thing.
We had a
25
$2
cents.
table.
$2 table. Big.
And it was it was as birdie as it gets.
I mean, it was busy. I know that.
Yeah.
So I've heard a couple.
Big 6 and 8 in the corner paying odds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You paid odds on the 6 and 8?
Paid odds, gang.
Like place bets?
On the big 6 and 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I heard, like, back in the day, Atlantic City printing money. Printing money. Like they would run out of the tins. they would run out of space in the tins. They had to just keep this whole thing tins.
I was on a couple tables where the paddle couldn't go all the way down.
So much cash.
Emergency drops.
I mean, the stories I've heard. So when I broke in as a dealer, I would watch these guys from Atlantic City, and they were considered like the most technically efficient dealers, and primarily because their training is a little different. So the schools out there are much more. There's a lot more oversight. Like they tie your hands together when you're going around the line. They teach a few different ways. Here it's more loosey-goosey. Vegas has always been a little unstructured in terms of like being certified as a dealer. Don't you go through a whole nother process?
You actually had to have you had to have a on your gaming license that you had to wear.
Yeah.
And it would list the games that you're certified to deal. So you had to physically attend each one of those. Here in Las Vegas, if you can pass an audition, you got a job.
You're done.
Which is great.
Yep.
But in Atlantic City, you had to actually go and sign up and attend. It's just another way to make dough.
Oh yeah. City's got to make their money, man.
Yeah.
I mean, what they did with that money, no one knows.
And then they charge to upgrade your license. After you pay for the class, now you got to add it to your license and upgrade your license. But
I never understood Atlantic City. The casino's nice, boardwalk nice, and just beyond the boardwalk, oof.
It's a shame because they had an opportunity to be a world-class product. They could have been an international product.
They could have been to Vegas.
They could have been to Vegas. It's just what was really sad, and when you look back in history, that a majority of the leadership all got indicted.
Yeah.
They really wanted to make a big play on eliminating organized crime, and that really didn't go very well in the beginning. The organized crime component was down there constantly. And, it's a shame because they never put anything back. The infrastructure, it took a while. I don't want to say they never put anything back because it's much better now than it was in in 1979, 1980, but
they're trying now for sure.
Yeah, they're doing much better now after they thinned the herd. Like my brother works there. He's been there 30 plus years with Caesar's organization out of Harris, and they're doing much better after they had to consolidate, and by consolidating, places went out of business. Yeah. So it's tough on the workforce too when you have to consolidate because now it's tough to get jobs. There's a lot of folks, but there's a lot of people back there that have been through it, or they're just not getting back into the business. I think it's an opportunity for the CEG guys, especially with the vaccine coming out, and gang, these jobs are going to be happening pretty soon. So, that's good chatter. But my brother even told me, he goes, we're trying to actively recruit and get ready for what's coming down the pike.
Yeah, good. All right, so here we have some pictures. Of course, we can't see them because one of these days I got to put up like a monitor here so we can see. But all right, Atlantic City. So Golden Nugget, you come to Vegas, you start at the Golden Nugget.
Yeah, it was my first job in Las Vegas.
In Vegas.
Yeah.
And that's when you transitioned a little bit from dice to like Baccarat. You started dealing more.
Yeah, actually my last year and a half in Atlantic City, I was I knew I was trying to get the job at the Mirage, and I knew I wasn't getting the job at the Mirage being a one game wonder.
Right.
I was really comfortable on a crab table, but that's, as you know now, that's not gonna work.
Not enough.
Right. So I mean, I could deal blackjack. I went to blackjack school and I could deal blackjack, but I didn't deal blackjack 100 times.
Yeah.
And then it's like I had an opportunity to get into the baccarat, and there was a really great group of guys that and a couple of young ladies that were in the baccarat room at the Claridge, and I fit right in there, and they really helped me along, and I really got into it and polished my game there. But baccarat was the key for me to get my career going. Yeah.
So we talk about that a lot. There's a lot of jumping off steps. So absolutely craps big game here in Vegas.
Yeah.
You can deal. There's still actually a few casinos that let you deal if you're good enough dice dealer, but you get stuck. It's hard to move on if you just know dice. If you're going to go to a Mirage or an MGM.
If you're comfortable being a crap dealer for your career, it's there for you.
There you go.
But if you're looking to be casino manager someday, you have to deal the other games.
Or if you want to go to a Cosmo
understand the other games.
or a big Aria, you got to deal multiple games because they won't leave you on one game. They need you to get around the tables. They use a scheduler, and so fantastic little visual aid. Okay, so Me personally, that was my mistake. I get into the business. I start out dealing a little bit of blackjack at Golden Gate downtown. This is 1991. And then I move over to dice. I fall in love with dice. I never want to do anything else. I don't want to deal. In fact, I get to the Rio, the best job. At some point, they needed me in blackjack. I was so bad. I had card down inside, and then I had checks down inside, all in the same, 40. I was terrible. The shift boss there was asking me, like, how the hell did you end up at the Rio as a dealer? Well, thankfully, I was a good enough dice dealer. I was saved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They came running over. So
Sure.
They needed good dice dealers. And there they had a lot of dice action, so you could be a full. And that was a good job. I didn't need to go anywhere else. Rio was like, at the time, the Marnells.
It was a really good job.
That was a great job. Okay, but all right. So back to your illustrious career. So by the way, just so you know, I love Scott to death, but I'm very jealous of his career because he's worked in literally. So the Mirage.
Yeah.
I am in a military convoy sometime around 1989, and we're driving out to 29 Palms. I don't know how I ended up on the highway. Okay, but I'm in a Hummer, and I look out. And I see this building going up in the middle of the Las Vegas Strip, like the most illustrious building I'd ever seen. And I lived in New York City. Like, I grew up in New York City. I've seen a lot of high-rise, but this was a special thing. Yeah. And the Strip at the time was there was the Rancho, which was, you could see that. It was a pretty big. The DI was off there. You could see, but in the middle of the Strip, there was really nothing. All you could see was this one building being built, and then they were just putting on the windows. So it was all this like sheen, like this brownish. I just remember seeing this like golden-looking thing in the distance. And then I asked someone about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's the new Mirage. It's like they're gonna need $1 million a day to stay in business." And everyone was going over like these ridiculous numbers. And this guy named I didn't know anything about Vegas at the time. I didn't know how big Steve Wynn was. I didn't know any of that stuff. And I always dreamed of one day working there at some, you know what I mean? And here you go, Golden Nugget.
I dreamed about it too, brother.
Yeah,
That's how I got to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
That's how I got to the Golden Nugget. The Golden Nugget.
So
I came in second place. I didn't get the Mirage job.
No.
I came out for that.
But you put in, you did what you needed to do.
Oh, yeah.
So here it is. So here, wait, go to the one before it. So this is what the Mirage looked like. Okay, this is the interior of the Mirage. This is the Mirage opening, the atrium in like 1980. So the Mirage opens end of December in 1989, and it started out where they had this all fake plants, by the way. But if you went there, you thought you were in like this living jungle. It was just tremendous. It almost was like gaudy Vegas meets tropical jungle meets safari. You know what I mean?
They called it Polynesian theme.
Polynesian, there you go.
And over all the pits, they had these like huts.
Yeah.
With the teak wood.
Yeah.
And then the bamboo weave inside there. It was really cool.
Dude, it was like, you were like transported. I got to play there, years later after I broke in and I finally made some money, this kind of thing. Okay. So Mirage, you go, and then you get hired by Station. Yeah.
What happened, I was at the Mirage, and just so everybody understands, is I loved working there. I mean, I loved working there. And I wanted to someday be the boss. I mean, I was going to UNLV now, and I really wanted to really get up as high as I could go. And the Mirage was very, very tough for the upward mobility because they had great people in leadership and nobody left. They were making great money. And they didn't get fired, and they did a good job. And if you really wanted to move up in the business, you had to take that big leap of faith. I mean, the Mirage was like the golden handcuffs for me because I was making great money there. I had a very safe, I could still be there today if I wanted to be, Yeah. But I wasn't ever going to be a casino manager there. So a really good friend of mine, Billy Patuski, wind up being a casino manager at Texas Station. And with Station Casinos, and him and I had a conversation, and I said, I'd love to, if I could get a shift manager's job, I'll go. And the conversation was, you'll leave the Mirage to go to Texas Station.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Texas Station.
Yeah.
But back then, was that when it was first built?
Texas was open about 10 years then.
Okay.
But it was, let's just be clear. It was a little step down in class.
Yeah,
from
it was
the Mirage.
totally step down.
Okay,
But
so it wasn't Red Rock.
if you look at the it was a Red Rock. If you look at the toke rates, by the way, Texas Station for a while did really well for a number of years.
That was back in the day. That was,
Yeah.
when
I
they
was,
first
like,
opened up.
amazed.
Yeah, when they first opened up,
Yeah.
they had a really tremendous business.
Yeah.
They had that Austin Steakhouse, and
Yeah.
they had the bowling there. They had big time
I
bowling
worked at
there.
Texas later on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it was. I mean, the team members that were there, they really responded to me, and then we had a really good thing. And then I got my big break because the guy who brought me, Billy, wound up getting the casino manager's job, and that was our conversation. He goes, "Look, I'm at Texas right now, but the
Yeah.
word on the street is I'm going to get the big job that he was going to get the big job at Red Rock." And if everything worked out with me, and I could get a chance to go to Red Rock, and then being shift manager at Red Rock
Yeah.
and being part of that opening
big.
was an incredible deal. Was a great game changer.
So for those of you outside of Vegas, Red Rock is like the gem of station casinos. So it's on the west side of town in Summerlin. A lot of money, a lot of big play. One of the best toke jobs in town for dealers, by the way. Still to this day. Another place where you really need to be a multi-game dealer. In fact, we originally knew a shift boss who was doing recruiting. They wanted 5 games. They wanted you to have 5 games, 3 mains, 2 specialty games. That's it. I mean, they could ask for that. They're the best.
They could when you're the big dog, you can pretty much ask for.
You want to go to Cosmo, you gotta have SR to get an audition. You know what I mean? They can ask those things. Okay, so how we doing? Stream's going well so far?
Going well.
All right, good.
Yeah, great.
Okay, so then you get the call. We've had a few stories, by the way. We have some other stuff about
Going
Macau.
to Macau, yeah.
So my little caveat on Macau is many years ago I was involved in opening casinos in Louisiana, and at some point I was approached by a consulting company to go to Macau, and they showed me a list of all the the things, sort of this company was looking at having you stay at an area especially set up for expats to stay at and have a relationship, you know what I mean? And it made me a little nervous, to be honest with you, because they were going to shuttle you and you had to live here and yada yada yada, and I was like, nah, I don't think so. And the money wasn't like the best, not to say that I was making the best money either, but I had some upward mobility, and I was like, okay, that's it. But that's the only connection I had to ever, you know what I mean? It was just one conversation, and they kind of showed me the rider sheet, I guess they called it. But you end up getting big job.
I had a really great job.
Really great job.
I was on the opening team with MGM Mirage.
Yeah.
In Macau.
We have a picture here, MGM Macau. I think, don't we have a picture? Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
That's a little delayed, by the way, so it's going to take a second.
Is it? Okay.
It was a really incredible experience.
Yeah.
So I was there like about 10 months before we opened. Mm-hmm. 9 or 10 months before we opened. So we were working on procedure manuals. We were working on recruitment,
everything.
Selection,
Yep.
training, the pre-opening thing.
Mm-hmm.
Opening was incredible. We opened on time. It was just when the first night when you hit that button to roll the shift, I mean that's a big. Everybody's holding their breath, and when the shift rolled, it was a big deal.
Yeah, there it is.
There's the big lion out front.
Yeah, and they took that lion out from the one here.
Well, the problem here was the lion's mouth was open, and that was part of the entrance. And our Chinese friends, our Asian friends, didn't appreciate walking through the lion's mouth. So they had to change that right away.
Yeah.
But the big gold lion out front, that was a really great mascot, good team mascot.
Dude.
But working in Macau. That, like you said, like the safety net.
Yeah.
I didn't have Billy.
Yeah.
I left my guy who was always taking me.
Yeah.
And he told me, he goes, I want you to make great decisions. Don't be afraid to make a decision. If you make a bad one, well, he'd bring me in the office and we'd talk it out. You
didn't have that there.
But over there, man, it was the trapeze act without the safety net.
Yeah.
And I didn't have very many other than the guy who hired me. And Gabe Hunterton, who was a really great operator, and that was awesome to be there.
So, by the way, the Macau MGM is a massive property.
400 tables.
400 tables. So, some of the biggest properties in Vegas will have like 120, a license for 120-ish tables on the floor, give or take. So, this is literally like 3 times the average, or 4 times, or 5 times.
400 tables and 380 or 385
Yeah.
for Baccarat.
I mean, it's just it's stunning to see Venetian Macau 600 tables.
Yeah,
500
it used to be 7.
Yes, I mean it's
I saw
unbelievable.
it. I saw it. I mean, when
500,000 square foot casino floor.
I tell you, gang, when you to see 700 tables, when I read about it, I said I can't. I got to see that.
Yeah.
And they had this really cool place when I went there. They had this like the stairway is an escalator that kind of went like this,
Oh,
like,
really?
like a
Wow.
Boeing. It was really cool, and it took you to this like landing, and you could look from all 4 points, and all you saw was tables.
Just
and
massive
the only thing I
tables.
could remember saying is, "I'm so glad I'm not the scheduler."
Yeah. They got to use a
Could
computer.
you imagine?
Oh my
They
god.
had the whole department.
Oh,
It's
I'm
called
sure.
workforce management.
Oh, really?
We had it at MGM.
Yeah, no, MGM
We had
I
it
know
at
has it.
Saipan too.
That's why we tell you, you go to MGM property, you got to have more than one game, because the scheduler doesn't care who you are. They just go by what games you know. They have to plug you in.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh.
So you're just
Yeah.
all right.
So
So Red Rock. So MGM.
Red Rock.
You come back to Red Rock.
I'm at the. I had a great run in Macau, and then the boss Gabe calls me in and says, "Hey, I got to send you back to the opening for Aria, City
Yeah, Aria.
Center."
Yeah.
And it's like, because I really love Macau and I really wanted to stay there, but
Aria.
Aria was a great gig.
I mean-
I was on the opening team with that. I had a very minor role with the opening of
But
that. I
still.
got here about a month before, so I got to do a little bit of training. But the best part about that was working 17 years at the Mirage. Not everyone, okay, 90% of the people that
A
were
lot
working
of the same people.
were all
Yeah.
MGM, Mirage, or Bellagio
Yeah.
people that moved over to Aria.
Over to Aria. Wow. By the way, Aria is literally the best job in town.
It's a great job.
One of the, I mean, as far as the dealer goes. So for those of you it's the dealer, it's one of the, I mean, Cosmo's very close.
They
There's a
have
few close
incredible team members working there.
Yeah.
The dealers and the craps, a majority of them are really, really special.
Yeah.
The Baccarat dealers, they got a great group in there. And
We have one of our craps instructors is from Aria right now. He's on the he's still waiting to be called back. But you know what's amazing is you would think at that level they let them sling checks a little more, but they don't. They expect the same level of skill, the same level of proficiency. They don't let you, because you remember, I don't know if you're
it's called
familiar.
professional.
It's called being a professional. But back here in Vegas, back in the day, you go to the Horseshoe. These guys were just slinging checks.
Well,
Of
the
course, that's
Horseshoe is a
downtown.
special place.
See?
It was a little bit different.
One of these
you
days
know?
I got to talk. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
love
it's
this.
like I went there. I mean,
Yep.
it's like that when I first got off the plane, my first time ever going to Las Vegas. My buddy says, "Where you want to go?" I'm like, "Take me to the shoe."
Yep.
You know, we went down there and you got to buy in on the bird game.
No, you
You
gotta.
got to go to the center bar.
Yeah.
You know, you got to do all those things that
That
you
was the
have
thing
to do.
back in the day. Those Horseshoe dealers.
Got to go get
fantastic,
that. What was it?
phenomenal.
$1.99 for the steak, right? The
I mean,
steak
if you
dinner?
go to the cafe and you had to play for like 5 minutes, they would
Yeah.
throw you. They
Oh,
would
it was
throw you a
unbelievable.
comp. They would throw packs of cigarettes if you smoked instead of just the singles. If you played even $5.
I took 10 people out to dinner. It cost me $25
Yeah.
with the tip.
No, I know. $25 a day. So they used to have this walk. You'd walk downstairs, and there was this cafe. They closed it eventually,
Yeah.
and they put up this weird thing. Anyways, but back in the day, the
Well,
Horseshoe
Binions
was
had
just
their own cattle ranch, right?
yeah. They had a lot of things. They have their own a lot of things. They have their own silver mine and their okay.
Their own
Good.
security staff.
Yeah, they had everything. He did everything himself. He had his own. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, so Aria, that was really.
Aria.
I was at Aria for a year, and then I took a sabbatical. I took a shot at running a business. It's not a good idea to try to run a business in a downward economy, and and
Wait.
it was tough. And
So then,
I ran back to Station Casinos
uh-huh.
and got a shift manager's job with
Again,
Red
yeah.
Rock.
Yep.
I was at Red Rock for about 6 months, and then I got a chance to be director. I got my first director's job at Texas Station. I got to Texas. It was a hot mess. It was the casino was literally upside down financially. I tell a story at UNLV that the Starbucks outside of my office made more money than the casino.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, everybody thought I was kidding, and then I put the numbers up on the screen, you know, and I said, we can't.
It's a genius Starbucks, by the way. It's right on the way to the buffet. So when you leave the buffet and you want a
yeah,
coffee,
but it shouldn't be
you
doing
just go
better
right
than
there.
your casino.
No, that's true.
Can't be that strong.
That's true.
Can't be
true.
stronger than your
And
casino.
it was nice that Texas Station had this little bridge and this little sort of thing under
was cool.
there.
It was
Yes,
great.
it was very well laid. All right. So then you go, and so we're going to get past this because your career could go on. We could have its own pocket, but then Saipan.
Saipan
And
was
we have a lot
awesome.
of great stories.
Texas, Palace Station,
Saipan.
Palace Station,
Now
Saipan.
UNLV.
Saipan to UNLV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So UNLV, and there's
Just finished my third semester.
and it's fantastic.
It's going great.
So we go there, and we try to help out with our.
You don't
we
try
give
to help
some
out.
lectures.
That's the highlight of the semester.
Oh, we love it.
I
I mean,
got the evaluations back from the students and the labs.
Yep, we love it.
What happens is,
It's a lot
gang,
of fun.
we invite the CEG guys to come in, and
Yeah.
the dealers are really pumped up, and they're getting the deal to live players and my students, which is really cool because a lot of my students are under 21.
Yeah.
So with you and Alex bringing the experience to my students, it just
Yep.
puts it over the top. It really showed great through the evaluation
Yeah.
process.
This is we've had a few of those students come here and sign up as students.
Oh yeah,
And working on their way to become dealers.
got to get your hands dirty. That's what we
And
say, right?
I mean, that's it. I mean, in this business, there's a path. If you start out as a dealer, you can become a director of table games.
yeah.
I mean, there is a path. All right. So here's the thing. We have a few topics today. One of them is a lot of the new things. Well, a lot of things in the news lately has been the explosion of gaming all over
Right.
the United States, right? And part of it is so legalized sports. The Supreme Court decision that allowed for
Huge.
sports, huge. The other thing is,
FanDuel, DraftKings
Yep.
having their own sports books now.
oh yeah,
It's FanDuel,
Yeah.
DraftKings trying to get their own casinos now.
oh I believe it.
So
they've
they're
been
first
printing
in
money.
They're first in goal.
Printing money.
They're printing money. And,
William Hill.
William Hill
We got Penn Gaming.
William Hill purchased by Caesars.
Oh,
Caesars purchased
Yeah.
William Hill.
yeah.
Penn Gaming is
Branching out.
they're branching out all
Mm-hmm.
over, but they did a deal with Barstools, the sports
Okay.
operation. So there's what we're trying to say, gang, is the proliferation of sports gaming throughout the United States is red
Yep.
hot. And what was really positive in the last election was Nebraska and Virginia, the two
Yeah.
states to get gaming. So they're looking to put 3 casinos in Nebraska. And I just read today, David, how the Hard Rock is pushing with both hands
Yep.
to get open in Virginia.
Oh, I believe it. So now with COVID, so a lot of states are having trouble raising revenue.
Sure.
And one sort of direct path from consumer to state coffers is gaming. You know what I mean? For better or for worse, as long as it's managed well and it's
Yeah.
mitigated well. So states are looking to add these sports books, add slot machines because they tax the crap out of them. You know
Yes.
what I mean? It's a great way to, well, I would say, instead of me putting an opinion, but it's one way for the states to raise revenue. And states that have their revenue has been dried up, so to speak, are looking at ways. I mean, there's a few states that are looking to put up tents to its slot machines. They're so eager to sort of generate revenue. They're trying to expand base. Okay, so here's the thing. Interestingly enough, there's only 4 states. I took down some notes. This time I got a little better prepared.
Let's go for it.
Utah, Hawaii, Alaska, Texas, Tennessee. That's the only states left where there's no gambling whatsoever. Every other state has some type of gambling. 30 states have tribal gaming now. And tribal gaming breaks down to either Class 2 or Class 3. So if it's a Class 2 gaming, if you have a casino near you that's Class 2 of tribal gaming, you're going to see where the casino basically, it's a 50-50. So there's no So they collect a vig for you to play, or they collect like a chart. So when you play blackjack, you might have to put up $1 for every hand, and you're playing essentially against other players. And they have a different way of like rolling out the dice. They actually pull cards. They don't use a roulette wheel, for example. They pull a card for the roulette wheel. Class 3 gaming is full-on commercial Vegas style. You versus the casino.
And there's a difference in the slot machines too.
And there's a difference in that's right. Class 2, the slot machines play a lot like
tabs.
bingo, pull tabs. Yeah, exactly. But it's coming. So it's full-on commercial gambling. It's still only available in 2 states along the board, and that's New Jersey and Nevada. But when you consider tribal gaming is essentially commercial gaming, but limited to the tribal reservations, there's only 30 of those. All right, so the other big thing that's happened recently is they're going to raise the reporting minimum. They're going to raise from $1,200 now. So if you hit a jackpot for $1,200 or more, you got to wait, got to get a hand pay, got to fill out some paperwork. Yeah. Now it's going to go to $5,000.
Love it.
You do love it?
Yeah, why not?
No, I think so too. It's been more than, $1,200. It just seems so old. It's been that way since like 1970 something. It seems silly.
Yeah.
At this point, if you're really laundering money, you've found other ways.
Right. It's to me, that's not money laundering. It's just a matter of, paying your fair share of the tax. And to stop the experience for a $1,200 hit, it
seems silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems silly. All right.
I'm a big fan of raising that.
Yeah, raising that.
Sure.
What do you think about sort of deregulating the gaming part of it? Do you like that the states are taking their time and making sure, like Louisiana, when it first rolled out, the Coast Guard managed the boats because they were on, river boats, and then the Department of Revenue played a role, and it was just sort of a very convoluted.
In my opinion, you're always going to have there's the worry. There's the trepidation. Is the organized crime element going to be here? They want to do everything. They want to do their due diligence, the government folks. So I think as long as you have a legitimate gaming control board that really wants to do the right thing and they let operators operate. The operators like MGM, like Wynn, like the Caesars, they've been around for a while. They know what they're doing.
Yeah,
they're not going to put their license in jeopardy in a new jurisdiction to do something we're never going to rob the public.
Right.
That's we're more than fair with the games, and we're very transparent. If there's any kind of illicit behavior, if there's any kind of even the perception of wrongdoing, it's terrible for the whole business. It's terrible for everybody. So we as operators and educators, I don't want to rush the process. But my big thing is let's let operators operate in a legal, fair way. Let's be transparent. Let's make sure everybody's paying their taxes. Let's make sure we're not dealing to underage guests, and let's make sure that we've got an eye on the ball with responsible gaming.
So what do you think about online casinos? The ones that play. So
online casinos is a tough thing for me because me being a big fan of the operator. I'm an operator at heart right now. I'm teaching at UNLV.
Right.
And what I don't want to see is anybody go out of work. Yeah. I'm into putting people to work.
So here's what they have. They have these online casinos where they have a person spinning a wheel.
Yeah.
And for example, Alex and a few friends, they played a roulette wheel that is supposedly not fixed or not magnetized. And boy, does it look like it's magnetized. They actually recorded it.
See, there I go. There you go. Now you've got somebody like Alex, who's a casino educator.
Right.
And he's got doubts.
Serious doubts.
It's okay. So if he's got serious doubts, where's that going to put the layperson?
No, they're using a big 6-wheel. The big 6-wheel looks like it's motorized.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of it looks motorized.
Yeah, but like who's the operator? Who's being vetted? Who's that's what I'm saying. It's like that's why online gaming is only in 2 states.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because it's not look at your World Series of Poker.
Yeah.
If you weren't in Nevada or if you weren't in New Jersey, you couldn't participate. So I think for emergency situations like COVID or shutdowns, to keep the companies vibrant, to keep them profitable, I can see that. I can
But
see
those
that.
companies
And
that are vetted.
the stockholders.
Right.
But look at Sheldon Adelson, right?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want anything to do with online gaming.
Online gaming.
He fights online gaming with every fiber in his soul.
Yeah.
Okay? Because he's got brick and mortar joints that he doesn't want. He doesn't want people blowing their gaming budget
Right.
online.
Right.
And I don't really want to see it happen because
Either do we.
our future crap dealers of the world, they're not going to have a spot to deal on.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know a young lady who's dealing baccarat. They film her and she does the hand, and it's live cards. It's totally legit. They do that. That's a big deal that's going on
I've seen
overseas.
that.
You know,
I've seen that.
but from a stockholder standpoint, the online thing makes sense. From an operator standpoint, man, I get it's a tough hustle.
Gig.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So here's the thing. Now we're going to give you guys a little bit of insider feedback on comps and hosts.
Comps and hosts.
So we might have a few questions. And by the way, I guess we can answer a couple of people. But anyways, okay. So here's the thing. Number one rule: got to get a player's card.
You got to get a card.
I mean, why not? So people don't get a card because they don't want to be tracked. They don't want to be. If you want,
then don't ask for anything.
Then don't ask for anything. Yeah, if you're going to go to a casino and literally not want for anything ever, don't get a card. But nowadays, casinos tie so much stuff to those cards. Not just like you get on the list and now you get discounts or free trips. I just got offered a free room at the Strat. I mean,
right. Well, it's about a loyalty program, right? Mm-hmm. So we want to talk about what's the best way to get comps.
Yeah.
Okay. So in my opinion, gang, is you want to be the big fish in the little pond. All right. So let's take station casinos here in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
If you want to go to Red Rock, unless you've got a big time bankroll, you're going to be a little fish in the big pond, and the little fish in the big pond doesn't make much noise. Now, there's smaller operations that you could go to, like the Boulder situation, right?
See, where I was a big fish at Boulder, not a big fish, but a middle fish at Boulder.
Yeah, but a $500 buy-in at Boulder gets recognized.
Yeah.
Where a $500 buy-in,
true story,
where $500 at Red Rock is commission on a baccarat bet.
Yeah,
so it's commissioned.
$500 I play at Boulder. I got free dinner. Same $500 I went to. This was some time ago, by the way, before some of their comps and points have been changed. At Red Rock, I was like, yeah, we'll call you.
Yeah. Well, being a seasoned station team member and being on the opening team at Red Rock, that was a big deal. You know, a lot of people came and like, oh, I play here, I play there. It's like, well, you don't play here.
Yeah.
And then they got a lot of pushback to where Mr. Fertitta said, okay, we're not.
That's what happened to me.
We don't want to upset our guests, okay? And that's why they do, that's what I really like about stations is they really listen to the public and they're very fluid and they move on a dime.
Yep.
And they came up with the concept, 10 casinos, 1 card.
Yep.
So whatever you did, if you could fire it up at Boulder, and a point is a point.
Yep.
And whatever those points you had, you want to bring them over to Red Rock.
Because back in the day, you'd have your host at your casino that you played at, but when you went to another casino, they would still respect you and honor the fact that you're a player. Because I was, but you didn't get the same kind of thing. By the way, one of the other things that Station has really done well is you get to earn comps for every dollar spent. And a lot of the other casinos have followed suit.
Yeah.
Even money in the gift shop. So if you do have a player's card, make sure you show it even everywhere. Yeah. You're going to dinner, because a lot of places will give you credit for that.
Look at some of these restaurants. They're big-time restaurants.
I mean, you're spending like $200 at a restaurant. I mean, that's just like $200 on a,
Sure.
All right, so the other thing we tell everybody, as far as the comping stuff goes, if you've seen some of our roulette strategies, we have some pretty good roulette strategies for getting, because there's a big hole in roulette, so we have a great roulette strategy for building up your con status and sort of grinding the game a little bit. With dice, you don't get a lot of times you don't get rated on anything where the casino doesn't have an advantage, like odds.
Right.
You don't get rated; you get 0.
Yeah,
in many cases.
Some of that, and it depends by the house. Now, if you're a crap player, you have to come in and when you give them your card, you say, "Am I going to get? Do I get rated on my odds?"
Yeah.
There's a first question you should ask, and if they say no, then you have to make a decision. Am I playing craps or am I playing baccarat?
Yeah.
You know, or blackjack.
Or baccarat. You know,
or if am I going to a slot machine? Because let's be real.
Yep.
The house advantage on roulette, 5.26, much higher than your basic blackjack.
Right.
Much higher than your basic dice game.
Right.
If the casino's rating you correctly, and you're playing on the roulette wheel, you're much more valuable to them. You're a much more valuable player for roulette. Now, what's a valuable player mean? You're more likely to lose.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what much more valuable means.
That's it.
So your playing time, if you take $1,000 to the roulette wheel and have $100 average and do a $50 average spin, and you take $1,000 to the baccarat game and do $50 a hand, I'm going to make a prediction that you're going to have more playing time at that baccarat table unless you get super
unless
lucky
you get real
early
lucky
at the roulette game.
Yeah.
But over time, if you came in 300 days out of 365, you're gonna blow a lot more money on roulette than you are on baccarat.
So there you go. So we tell people you got to get educated. That's why we have the channel. That's why we have the school. Get educated.
But if you can get a fair blackjack game, if you can get a blackjack game where the rules are relatively fair, and you have to shop around, that's a good place to start. If you get rated for odds at the place, because seriously, gang, if you're a crap player now, you never make a prop bet.
Yeah.
You never make a prop bet. That's where we make money. Okay. Now, when you're a crap dealer, you sell prop bets. Aggressively sell, enthusiastically sell.
You hawk those props.
Yeah, and that makes you a tremendous dice dealer.
Yep.
But as a tremendous dice player, a big dice player will never bet a prop bet. And honestly, even when you're dealing and somebody wants to make a bet for you, put it on the pass line, and maybe they'll give you odds, or you could gently remind them that I don't have odds. Or
you're right.
Gently.
Need some new shoes.
Yeah.
Not for my kids, for
my
bet.
Shoes and socks.
Shoes and socks.
Yeah.
All right, very good. So the other thing we talk about is a host. You know, a lot of people are very intimidated about the whole host thing. They see a guy all dressed up, standing around. It never hurts to say hello, especially if you find a place that you like to play at.
Now let's get back to the big fish in the pond and the little pond.
Yep.
Now you have hosts. Now, how does a host get started? I get asked all the time, Scott, how do I become a host? Well, if you're gonna be a host, you're gonna start out as a cash host. So what you're gonna do is cruise around the casino and look for people who don't have a card put in the slot machine, and then you're gonna get them a card and introduce yourself to them, and now you're tagged to that player. Same thing works in the pit. So what I used to do when I was an operator, the young host would come by, the cash host. You know, I would feel them out, who was aggressive, who was really wanted the business. And if I had somebody buy in for 500 or more and they didn't have a card, I'd call that host over. Now that host does the intro, and that player there, I mean, you never know. You never know who you're meeting.
That could be their first 500.
You never know who you're meeting. I mean,
the night.
I've got a friend who was a host at the Mirage, and she wound up meeting this guy who turned out to be the biggest player in the last couple of years in Las Vegas. I mean, like multi-million-dollar player.
Wow.
And she met him cold.
Yeah.
She met him cold.
Wow.
And he was never played anywhere.
Wow.
He just came in, played that time, got into it, liked it, and went from was a super big player, super big.
Yeah, fantastic. So, you know, if you are going to frequent someplace, doesn't hurt to introduce yourself, especially if you spend money, you know, get to know them.
Find a place you like and go to that place.
And a lot of times you might, you know, there's not always cash to give away. They're not always going to give you free, like, meals, things. They might just invite you to a party. You know what I mean? And kind of fill you out. I mean, there's
always free tournaments where you get a shot, you know? You get a shot at playing in a blackjack tournament. When I was running, when I was director at Palace, we always, at least quarterly, we wanted to have either a combination of blackjack or baccarat tournaments as a give back to the players. And then they earn their way in, or if somebody you haven't seen in a long time walks in, or then you can call on the phone and say, hey, I haven't seen you for a while, you want to come in for our baccarat tournament? You know, hey, you know, because it doesn't cost you anything to put them in a tournament.
Easy.
It's easy as an operator. You know, there's a lot of things you could do. as an operator to and the players love that stuff.
No, they love it. Just being called.
Yeah, you know what? Because with just being called, they like.
Yep.
They don't want to be pestered.
Yep.
But people want to know they want people. You go someplace, you want recognition.
Yep.
I know. When I go out, I try to keep it to a couple of places because when I get there,
Yep.
I want to be able to bond with the staff.
I go to the same Dotties every week. They're bonded with me.
There you go. And you don't even smoke.
They know what machines. I walk in and they instantly they tell me, and they're always nice. I find a place where I enjoy the clerks. They enjoy me. They know that I'm going to take care of them.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And they know what seats. Like if I don't see my seat, they know, nope, your seat's not available. Sorry. What can you do? But anyways, all right. So there you go. It's a little bit about hosting comps. All right. So we got some gaming news.
Yeah,
few things.
Sure. What do you got?
One of the most interesting things, WSOP is
World Series of Poker.
getting the World Series of Poker is getting close to its finals.
Yeah.
And so I don't know who ended up in the final, but I bet Rio on the 28th is supposed to host the finals. So because of COVID, they had to split it up. And in order for you to play, you had to be either in geofence, right? Is that what it is? Inside Nevada or Jersey.
Yeah, it's called a geofence. So
Geofence.
when you turn on your machine, your computer or your handheld device, it sends out a signal of where you're standing.
Right.
And as long as you're within the border of Nevada or the border of New Jersey, you can play.
Yeah.
So other than that, you're in no action. So
if you were from like Kentucky, you had to drive your
drive
ass
to
out
Nevada
of here,
or drive to New Jersey,
and just turn on your
sign up
computer.
and turn it on.
So
and then
some
you're
people
good.
were just in some random hotel room
grinding
away on some poker. I mean, what happens if you lose your connection? What happens to your seat? Like you went to hold or you went to
Yeah, I just got into it with a really good friend of mine. He's a really dynamite poker player, and I'm really trying to up my game. And we went to WSOP and played some sit and go tournaments, and just so I understand how it goes, because this is part of my class. I teach that electronic gaming device, and we go over online poker is going to be a big deal.
As terrible as I am at poker, but so we just had a poker thing. We went to we had liquored up poker. And my poker playing was so terrible. They were like, they couldn't believe those were actually the cards, because they couldn't see the cards, but we did these graphics of the cards, and they just couldn't believe it. So, but I actually was on WSOP online, and I played some, and I actually won. I mean,
it's a great way to learn.
No, to learn, yeah.
And because here's the other part, David, too. Like if you go with somebody who really knows how to play, like a dynamite player, like my friend Danny Morgan, he's a great player. So I go to his house. And I sit in his back pocket. So he's in front, he's grinding. And because when I go watch him play at the casino, I don't know what his hole cards are. So I have no idea what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I can't handle that. That's boring for me, you know. And it's not like you could watch on TV and know what he's got.
Yeah.
So, but being able to sit there and
follow.
He wins tournaments. In my opinion, he's pro. He's had sponsors.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, like he's really good. So to be able to sit there and know what he has, what he's folding, and like, dude, you folded that? He goes, second best is not where you want to be in poker.
No.
Second best is not.
No, you gotta go. You gotta have some.
Yeah, gotta win the
balls.
hand.
You gotta have some balls. Yeah. You gotta be able to bluffing, all that stuff.
It's pretty cool though, but that's a great way to learn.
No, I used to work at Mercedes-Benz up the street. Phil Ivey came in, had SLR, and I got to see him one time. Then we had this other guy. So I got this guy that comes in one time in flip-flops, sweatpants, a tall, skinny kid. I don't remember his name. And, when you're shopping for expensive cars, it's always the guy that doesn't look like he can afford it that ends up like with all the cash and just, here, I want 2 cars, whatever the case is. Yeah, give me 2 of those. So I say hello. I used to say hello to these guys all the time. I was not one. If you came in a suit, I was like, ugh, God, this guy. Why do you need to be a suit to shop Mercedes? Come in there, pajamas for all I care. That's the guy who doesn't care. So anyways, as I'm saying hello and talking to this guy, and he's in like a t-shirt, sweatpants, and flip-flops, okay? And now he's interested in E-Class and this limited edition E-Class. And someone comes up to him and he goes, oh yeah, he's like, that's some dude, he just won this huge poker tournament, $1 million. And sure enough, this guy's got like stacks of flipping cash. I didn't even bother looking down, but his sweats were like, he's a skinny guy, his sweats were just anyways, there's my little poker stories. And by the way, one of the Hawk brothers.
Did he buy the car?
He did buy the car. Yeah, he bought the.
Did you close the deal?
I closed the deal. It was a deal. Yeah. No. He was very excited. I treated him like a regular person. I didn't prejudge, nothing like this. And man,
as we should when everybody walks up to our crap table in our box.
You don't know. You
never know.
You never know. I mean, I used to have so many grinders. Terrible players, but they would toke you if you treat everybody with kindness and you know what I mean. All right. Anyways, okay, moving on. So interestingly enough, this year there's only some 700 something people in the U.S. There used to be thousands.
Yeah.
And then the prize, of course, only 1.5 million. Still a lot of dough. It used to be 10 million. 2006.
Well, the first prize was 10 million.
10 million.
10 million was the prize last year. The guy who won last year.
Really?
The first
I know
prize was
Moneymaker
10.
won like 10 million, right?
2.5.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, that
But
poor
that was
bastard.
that was huge back then.
No, it was huge.
But
Moneymaker.
the thing is, when
Holy
after
crap.
the Moneymaker effect.
What kind of name is that?
Is
I mean,
that
that's
cool?
like the ultimate name for a poker winner. I mean, come on.
You can't make
He was
this
destined.
story up.
He was destined to
You can't
win.
make
No.
this story up.
Holy crap.
He wins an $86
Yeah.
satellite tournament.
Yep.
On Poker Tour, on Poker Stars.
Yeah.
And when he wins that tournament, he wins the seat at
Yeah.
the World Series.
Yeah.
He had a famous hand where he beat Ivy.
Yep.
And he had a very famous hand.
God,
with,
Ivy all over the place. Whacked the Borgata. Anyways, that's another movie coming out later on. Hey, yeah, Moneymaker. I was always stunned that a guy named Moneymaker won. It almost made sense.
They got a Moneymaker movie coming out?
No, not a Moneymaker. Baccarat. Edging.
Yeah, I can't really talk too much about that.
No, I'm not
movie.
talking about anything. I'm just saying, like, that's quite the skill, just so you know. He got whacked. No, Phil Ivey got sued. He lost a bunch of money. Yeah, anyways.
He won a bunch of money.
He won a bunch of money, too.
They just wanted that money
They
back.
wanted that money back, yeah. Anyways, that's going to be another something way down the
Later
line.
on, we could talk about
Later
that.
on, we'll talk about that. All right. Okay, so anyways, so all these people coming in from international, they'll be here. The 28th is supposed to be, so we have heard, so we have some housekeeping people who have been
2
coming to this
weeks.
school. Yeah, 2 weeks. We haven't heard a hide in our hair of that place, but apparently it's going to be cleaned up and open, ready to go, but we haven't heard a thing. What we have heard is the Circa, by the way, their hotel opens on the 24th. We know some of the people that are putting that together have been hiring a lot of staff over there, and let me tell you, they're pulling whatever hair they got left. It's been, quite, I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic success, but wow.
Yeah,
Can you imagine Circa still opening everything?
I'm really rooting hard for them. I really want to see that be a great success.
We've sent a lot of dealers there. We've been training all their dancing dealers, and we've sent a lot of the other dealers there, and they're doing well.
You getting good
Traffic
feedback
as well.
from them?
Feedback has been great. They've had some days, of course. Everything is very fluid.
Yeah.
California gets shut down. Not as many people able to drive out here. This kind of thing.
We don't have the rodeo this year.
But the fact that you got a job, and it's a decent paying job. I mean, with toke rate has been fairly good, especially for break-ins, and dancing dealers are doing well. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I think overall the drive-in traffic, if you're working at a property, but even the Cosmo is doing well on the weekends. The weekdays it settles off.
Yeah.
Same thing with us at Fashion Show. Weekdays not so much, but weekends still busy. People are still coming in.
We got to get people comfortable to fly.
Yeah. No, the planes
Las
got to
Vegas.
hit.
Talking about Las Vegas,
Yep.
you have to. The folks have to be comfortable to get on the plane and fly.
Yep.
And until that happens, it's going to be a challenge.
It's going to be tough.
Because
Yep.
we talk about it all the time.
Yep.
What's out of the big pie, 20-30% max is gaming.
Yep.
Conventions,
food,
the
conventions, the rooms, all of it.
the rock star restaurants.
Yeah.
How about the day clubs and the nightclubs?
Yeah.
They printed money for the last couple of years.
I mean, Hakkasan.
all that stuff.
Unbelievable.
Wynn
That was
Beach
the
Club.
biggest shocker. When I first heard,
You take the Baccarat out of Wynn, I bet you that
Yep.
beach club is right there with the casino floor.
Hakkasan $1 billion investment made it back the first year. Hakkasan. They reshaped the entire MGM to accommodate literally Hakkasan. The very front of the whole. I was always amazed that was even
Well,
a thing. And
Think
then,
about it. You got
until I
a
found out.
$30 bottle of Grey Goose that you're selling for $1,000.
Yeah. That's quite
good
the
work
thing.
if you can
Yeah,
get
that's
it.
good work. Yeah. All right, let's go to the Airbnb.
Yeah, that's good chatter, right?
Yeah, that's good chatter.
But the thing is, so the Airbnb gang. So like you got like the
Secret.
Vidara, the
Not a secret, but
the super nice.
so a lot of people in town have timeshares, or they have these timeshares, and what they're doing is they're renting them on Airbnb minus resort fees. So like where
Or condos at the condo
or
hotels.
condos at the
condos at like Vidara.
At Vidara.
And those kinds.
And it's like half of what you would pay to stay at like the actual hotel, and no, of course, no resort fees. So people are sort of backdooring the whole, hotel business.
The resort fees are just.
Dude, I think we gotta like right now to be competitive and get people just in. Get rid of the resort fees.
I was really hoping for a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the silver lining for the gaming industry coming out of the COVID would be number one.
Yep.
Stop the nonsense about charging for parking. Number one, charging for parking, not good.
Yep.
Number two, resort fees.
Mm-hmm.
Resort fees. I mean, give me a break. I mean, you're charging for a swimming pool in the winter. No one's using the pool.
Right.
What do you
the
get?
spa.
Oh, well, we give you internet. Everybody's got internet. Now. Internet's like a given now.
So here,
I mean, like, why would you even walk into a building if it doesn't have internet?
Literally,
now?
you go to McDonald's with internet.
Right. That's what I'm
It's a gimme.
saying. McDonald's is a hot spot.
So they give you access to the spa, to the lockers. There's one hotel out there who they tell you have access to the spa as part of your resort fee, but it's only to the locker room.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't actually get to use the spa, but you can go down there and store some stuff in a locker for an hour.
You can walk down there. And number three is the no smoking. I think that was a perfect chance
to take smoking off the floor.
We've got one place stepped up, the park.
The Park MGM.
The Park MGM, which we're still waiting to open, right?
No, it's open.
Have they opened?
Yeah, Park MGM will be open.
I will mention Alex said he just won $150 at bingo.
Oh my God. Alex won $150 every time he goes out with a fan now. He just wins money. He's like printing money with these fans. He can't win to save his life on our live stream. Okay, we gotta go to hit the ATM. We gotta borrow money from the guy next to us. But meanwhile, bingo. But don't tell Lauren that, by the way.
Yeah, Lauren will get upset.
He goes out with some fans the other day downtown and wins like $1,100. He starts off winning a video poker. He goes to video poker, then he goes to we're at downtown Grand.
It's good to be Alex.
We want. It's great to be Alex. You kidding me?
Lauren went with him.
Oh, Lauren's with them?
Yeah.
Wow, she's so jealous. Dude.
Well, then he didn't win 150. He's got to split it.
She is a big. Oh, he's gonna have to split it. She's a bingo. She's the bingo queen, dude.
Oh yeah.
She makes that big Cosmo money, and she lives in a box. So because the rest of her money goes into bingo, right, Lauren? No, I'm just kidding. All right, is she watching this? Because she's gonna hate me tomorrow. She's gonna spank me. All right. Anyways, all right. So what were we talking about? Oh, the Airbnb.
Talking about resort fees.
Resort fees, yeah. Screw the resort fees. Come on now. I mean, at least for now, until it's a competitive market again, and we got everybody coming here, and now you gotta. You know what I hated most about that is you book a room on one of these. If they still doing it, by the way, they used to. I thought that if you go straight to the resort and book the room, they'll tell you the resort fee when you go to check out. They'll say, hey, this is.
Oh yeah, you can't. You have to have it before you hit.
I booked a room at the Alexis Park. Okay, and yes, I'm saying Alexis Park because I used to love the Alexis Park. It's all suites. You get a little kitchenette and everything else, so it's very comfortable. It's right down the street from the school, and I didn't want to be. I live all the way Aliante North, right? I didn't want to drive. I was really busy, so I got the suite because you get a kitchenette, you can eat. And I was planning on being there a couple of days, and I didn't book it. Somehow I ended up not booking it with the actual hotel. I ended up on some other site, and they didn't tell me about the resort fee. When I show up, it's $280 in resort fees, which is more money than I actually paid for the flipping room.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, really? I thought the whole reason I booked this because I thought you guys are off strip. You're a Lexus resort. You don't even have gaming. Your pool's closed. There's no spa. What are you charging
I
me
run
for?
it down. I make them run it down for me. What am I getting for my resort fee?
Yeah.
Exactly what am I getting?
Yeah.
And they say internet, and then they have a struggle.
Yeah.
They struggle.
No, by the way, some of them will print you your airplane tickets. I'm like, well, what
Whoa,
if I drove here?
Yeah.
What airplane tickets do you need to print for me?
We can do better than resort fees.
No, for sure.
We really could.
And if you want to offer,
and the first guy that does it, the first group of that does that, they're going to have such a big advantage over everybody else.
No, for sure. I think it's transparency. Yeah, the resort fees, man. I get it where, you offer basic internet, and if you want to offer like an upgraded internet, then maybe charge $10 for that.
But who wants that on their vacation?
Well,
you just want to check your email.
I mean, you come with kids. Kids need internet, dude. They play all the machines and everything. They all got to be online and cloud, and that's the thing now. Okay, we're on the boomer generation. Okay, well, you're a boomer, sir. I'm pre-boomer, just so you know. All right. Moving on to the next topic. Okay, so the boring. Here's an interesting thing. So no one ever thought, forever I always thought we needed a train system. They put in the monorail.
Bust.
Absolute bust.
Bust.
Because it goes to nowhere. It doesn't
The monorail to nowhere.
It goes to. By the way, if you take the monorail and you get off of the MGM, let's say, right, because it goes in the back end of the MGM, you will not take that monorail again because the walk time from the monorail to get to, like, let's say, the front desk. By the way, you can only get the monorail from other properties in the convention center. You can't even get it from the flipping airport, which was the whole idea originally, but that never happened.
Total train wreck.
Because the cab drivers all, raised hell and yada yada.
Sure.
It was a mess. Now, boring. Elon Musk comes around and says, you know what? We're just going to dig a hole. We're going to dig a hole. I got the boring equipment, and we're going to make a tunnel. Convention center signs up. They build this tunnel in like record time underneath so you can do the whole loop. Because the convention center now, by the way, even though there's no conventions, is massive.
We're ready.
It's massive. Like it's literally like I don't know how many city blocks, but I'm guessing like 8 or 10 city blocks wide. It's really, really gotten just ridiculous. It goes all the way out. They bought the Riviera, imploded it, built that all the way up to the Strip now.
It's awesome.
By the way, it's a bagel shop we got to try out. Me and Sticky get bagels in the morning. They have Bagel Mania. They got to be. It's right on Convention Center Drive, so they can't be doing that well because there's been no conventions and no walk. But I'm sure they were planning on doing real well because that all year round convention center area is just literally people, just mobs of people just circulating, going through the convention center. But anyways, so now the Boring Company wants to build. They submitted plans to build out 2 more tunnels. One that stops at all Caesars properties, strangely enough, only Caesars property. And the other that goes all basically up and down the whole resort corridor. What do you think about that one?
I think it's going to be a home run once it gets going. I'm just waiting to see a timeline. Like, what's a projected finish date? That's tough to find those.
Yeah, no, that one we haven't been able to recover. Which is strange that they have just Caesars or everybody. It's like, listen, if everybody's going to fall in place, we got Caesars.
Here's the way things like this happen. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to be first.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be first. Everybody wants to show me that it works, and then we'll jump on board.
Yeah.
And it's got to be a huge number.
Yeah.
What's the number? What's the buy-in with Eon?
Oh, it's got to be big.
Elon Musk.
He wants to go to Mars, dude. It can't be cheap.
Yeah, he's got to support his rocket ships.
No, that's
you know the price
goal.
of rocket fuel?
No, it's a lot. Whatever it is, it's a ton of money.
It's more than diesel.
But he's got a ton of money. He can pay.
Yeah, good for him.
No, he's selling all his crap on the Earth just to go to Mars. So good for him. All right. Well, anyways, so a second line. All right. So here I got some jackpot news, and then we do have some other news that is a little international. So here's the thing. Wheel of Fortune hit at the El Cortez for $589,000. Someone just hit that. That was literally just 2 days ago.
Nice. Megabucks is at an all-time high.
Megabucks.
14 plus.
I know, $15 million now.
15 now?
Yeah, 15.5
2 days
million.
ago it was 14,
No,
so it must be flying.
Which is strange because that means a lot of stimulus money has been put into Megabuck because
a lot of $1,200 buy-ins.
A lot of $1,200 buy-ins, which is perfect because it's $3 per thing, so that works out perfectly.
If you get skunked all the way,
you get screwed. Although what sucks about a lot of the Megabucks machines is like, let's say you're on a $1 machine, it's a $3, it's $3 to do max credits, and then you win like cherries, you get $1 back. That's how they keep you going because now you get to the end and you have just
$2.
Yeah, you have 2 credits. You gotta add more money. Anyways. So interestingly, that Megabucks was introduced in 1987. For some reason, I thought it started later. And the biggest one was at the Excalibur for $39 million. That was one in 2003. There's a lot of mystery. This is one of the urban legends surrounding Megabucks. You know that poor lady that got rear-ended? And there's the one story is this poor lady won it. Not this one. She won like $34 million. Didn't win one. Yeah. So there's actually 3 stars. So I'll go over these real quick because you might not know these.
The curse of the Megabucks.
You were so busy managing these casinos, you know what I mean. You lost track of the Megabucks winners. So this poor lady wins Megabucks, $34 million, and she's at a stoplight like a week later with her sister, and she gets rear-ended. Her sister passes away, and then she ends up paralyzed.
Ugh.
So it's called Curse of the Megabucks. But before that, there was another story, and this was, I didn't really want to talk about this but there was someone who went to a certain university, supposedly, as the rumor went, hits Megabucks. But so he was a young guy, in his low 20s, early 20s, and he was known to party a lot. And of course, now you go from partying on, with zero money to partying on Megabucks money, and now you've just lost your mind. And supposedly he partied himself right out of existence, you know what I mean? Then there's this Excalibur win, which supposedly the same thing happened. A person got rich, decided to. There's so many stories about the Excalibur win. No one knows for sure. But there's so many people who think that the person related to this one also passed away. Because imagine this. You go from making, regular wage, regular life. Now you've got $39 million. Or, let's say you take the, pre-tax, whatever it is, or post-tax. Now you're like, going a little wild. You buy the Lamborghini, you're going 200 miles down the road. You're jet setting. A lot of opportunities to die. Not so much in your home or your apartment, right? But, with enough money and enough shit to do. Okay. Anyways, some guy won Monday, Venetian Resort, $656,000 on Aristocats, Great Gaming, Mad Max Fury Road, which is fantastic. I love that movie.
Mad Max
Fury Road. $656 on his birthday.
Break the deal, face the wheel.
I mean, yeah, that's it. So this guy was literally on the wheel, apparently. Made a ton of money. And, on his birthday, which makes sense because I want to win on my birthday. If you're going to win, you might as well win on your birthday. All right, well, anyway, so Megabucks has it. So you come out here, you might win it on and here's a lady. And we got missing Sticky. $64,000 Keno jackpot. I had to leave this for last because I'm a big Keno player. She hit on Caveman. And I think we have the picture coming up next, right? Sticky? Sticky's on the controls. So it's Caveman Keno at South Point, $2 Caveman Keno loaded up. She had three of those Cavemans, anyways, for those of you who care. All right. So what do you got to add to this mess, sir? How about Japan?
Japan, I heard some
Yes.
Yokohama.
Yes.
Yeah, well, hopefully Japan goes, but there's a lot of... Japan has been a tough hustle for the operators in a couple of ways. Mm-hmm. The tax structure.
Yep.
They can't settle on a fair tax structure or what we consider being fair.
Yep.
And like you and I talked about before we came on, that 3% of the total space is all you're allowed for gaming.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a couple $1 billion operation, and you can only have 3% on the.
You have to get to 3 million square foot of space to have a 300,000 square foot gaming floor in order to fit the number of games they think Japan. They think each of these casinos will support up to 600 table games at a minimum, and in order to get there, you need a big ass floor. You need 300, 400,000 square feet, and they can't get there without a massive investment. Yes.
I think the potential's off the charts there. Mm-hmm. But I really don't think they want it. I really don't think the people. When I talk to some of my Japanese students, and they're pretty honest with me about it. It's like there's not a lot of Japanese citizens that are really saying, "I want gaming."
But they have that Plinko thing, right?
And that's why they don't want it.
Really? Because they're just busy doing the. Is it called Plinko?
No, Pachinko.
The
Pachinko machines.
Pachinko machines everywhere.
Yeah, and it's and
they're happy with that.
They're not happy with that. They
really?
don't like what's going on.
That people are addicted to pachinko.
The word on the street there, that's the triads and the organized crime have a big hand in that, and there's not a lot of taxes being paid on it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of nonsense because you're not really paying for money. You're paying for tickets, and you get a ticket and you get a gift, and you take that gift around the corner, and someone buys the gift and gives you money for it. It's a lot of nonsense.
Yeah.
And I think that. In my opinion, I think that there's a lot of folks that think that that's going to be what's happening with the casino. Mm-hmm. I mean, they already see what's happening with their form of gaming, and it's not good. Mm-hmm. And, there's a lot of folks that just don't like it. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so many pros, and, as long as it's regulated right, as long as we got our eye on the ball, as long as we're taking care of the responsible gaming components and the underage components. Look at what's going on in Singapore. They do a really great job. It's like they had a lot of worries about that. Mm-hmm. They have memberships. There's only so many times locals can come. South Korea, you locals can't come in. They can't play.
Yeah,
can't play. How much dough is leaving the country every year? Going to Macau, going to Singapore.
Yeah, because they won't let their population play.
I know. It's like they have their head in the sand. It's like people don't gamble.
No, because they are gambling.
They're gambling with both hands.
Yeah.
they're
No, for
gambling
real.
with both hands, but they're not doing it at home. The money's leaving.
So we licensed a school in Osaka with our friend Oda, and Rocky's out there,
Yeah.
and they've started to get some students, and they were hoping that the IR gaming was going to be integrated resort is what the IR is for. And Osaka was one of the cities that talked about having the license. MGM even has a boat there to kind of entertain people.
Yeah,
But
MGM went strong.
dude.
They went really strong.
So the
to-
word
to
is
make
they
it
may
happen.
not be all that interested anymore. And
Well,
Venetian is out.
no one-
Sheldon
no
said
one's-
we're out.
No, Sheldon walked.
And he was going to be number one.
He's
I mean,
always
he's a good
number
friend
one.
with Abe. I mean, he was like, they were, close.
Yeah, well, the prime minister had to step down too, right over
That's
there
right.
because he got
Yep,
sick.
He's out.
So
Yep, Shinta Abe. Yeah, he's out.
and then he's out, and he was really close with President Trump, and President Trump's out.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's not, the
So we'll
politics
see.
don't line up right
Still
now.
a lot of question marks for Japan. If anything, it's going to be maybe not 5-year plan, maybe 10-year plan.
Yeah,
Something like this. All right. We got the Q&A.
Asked really quick.
Who?
He wants to ask Scott
Let's go.
about legalizing gambling in Hawaii. What do you think?
Never happened.
I just saw an article today on Google. I pray, but I think that the locals won't go for it. But I just saw something that they're trying to put it on the ballot on Oahu, on the island of
Really?
Oahu. Yeah.
So I heard it has more to do with pre-statehood. Gambling was a
Well, there's-
no-no
there- well, why-
before they even got to statehood.
Why is Utah not having gambling?
Well, the Mormons aren't going to have it.
Right. Well, there's a huge Mormon population too.
Really?
On the
In Hawaii?
In Hawaii, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That was quite the hike.
They
Really? They just, so a lot
expansion.
of, wow.
Yeah.
But I
But
heard
there-
that pre-statehood, the indigenous people had literally a thing against gambling, and they made sure that it was not going to be part of statehood when they were considering the
Yeah.
Hawaii
I
state.
was kind of blown away. I'm actually
Yeah.
on a flight to Hawaii.
No, you're going.
and
You want to retire there.
I can't wait.
We want you to run Ala Moana.
Whatever
Casino
you want.
Quest.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. They make the boats lock it down. I mean, they lock it down and shut down the casinos, but you got to dismantle the games. You got to go through this whole process when you get to Hawaii. You can't have any game, no live gaming, nothing.
I hope. I wish they would have it.
Mm-hmm.
I would be one of the first ones to get out there and help get it going.
By the way, one of my favorite crap channels that I watch a lot, this guy named Mel Hum. He's Craps Hawaii, and he has this real sort of laid back way of talking about the game. It's very casual, and just thought I'd put that out there.
I think Casino Quest would be a home run.
Yeah, I think so.
Over there.
A lot of crap players. A lot of people love craps.
The greatest hand in the history of Las
California
Vegas
Club.
at the Cal.
Yeah, because I mean the Golden Arm.
Golden Arm.
I mean, yeah. I mean, some amazing tournaments. I mean, it's too bad. That's one of the things we missed this year, of course, with COVID. All right, what else? So now we're gonna go to the Q&A section. So fire away.
So
They're all
actually
gonna be-
saved a couple questions.
Oh, you
there.
saved? Okay, what do we got?
So Robert B asked, what's the difference between traditional slot machines and VLTs?
BLT.
Is it
VLTs?
VLTs?
Yeah, VLT.
Video lottery terminals.
Oh, look at this guy. I had no idea.
I thought you said B.
Yeah,
So,
we thought it was the bacon.
V like Victor. Video lottery terminals. I believe they're the class 2. And the traditional class 3, the Vegas style.
Yeah.
Yeah, which your video lottery terminals.
Yeah, so those where they print a ticket. I mean, how does that work
I
differently?
believe they're tickets. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know we saw a lot of those at G2E. The last G2E, the big talk was sports books. Everything was about sports book, e-sports book, all that stuff. But a lot of class 2 slots because a lot of tribals. So
I think that the class 2s are going to go to class 3s right away.
No, I think that's the
I
next
really
step.
do. I really
Yeah.
as long as the tribes can get on the same page and get their compacts with the state
Yep.
and pay their fair share
Yep.
and give the state a taste,
Yep.
they'll get class 3.
That's the thing. Arizona, they want the tribes to sort of negotiate, kind of a share, more even share, I guess. That's what we've been, hearing. The holdup has been all these years, because there's always been this hint that Arizona is going to go class 3, because right now class 2, as you know, we would love for it to go class 3. We'd open a school there tomorrow. We would love to be.
I think that's just right around the corner. Especially like here's the deal, David.
Yep.
Everybody's trying to. Every state after this COVID,
Yep.
everyone's hurting.
Yep.
Everyone's hurting. So if you already have class 2 gaming,
Yep.
why wouldn't you just turn the page to go full scale and have I mean, what a game changer when they introduced slot machines to Foxwoods.
Yeah.
Millions and millions in tax revenue.
Yep.
I mean, it's just it has to happen.
Now they're adding slots to a lot of racetracks. Have been given the green light to do that. I mean, it's
saved
in New York.
It saved horse racing.
Oh, for sure.
Saved it.
Yeah,
These
100%.
racinos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
What else you got over there?
Yeah. What else you got?
So we got I don't even know how to pronounce this name, so I'm not gonna try. But DZ. This is a really long name. Anyways, he's asking about a virtual craps table where you still have to throw the dice. What do you think about that?
Oh, where like the virtual casinos, but they still have somebody throw the dice.
Apparently.
Aruzi Gaming has an electronic crap table. What's his name? DZ. DZ. Go to Aruzi Gaming on their website and check it out. They have pretty much, they're the leader on video crap table.
Yeah.
And they might have a product where you shoot the dice and the dealer plugs in the result and then everything else lights up like that.
Yeah, where you still shoot. And they also have one with the, by the way, that table that you see on there, $190,000. The one that's all lit up, the LEDs and everything, a fantastic looking table.
ETGs, baby.
Electronic gaming. That's the next. So we're hoping to have some. We're going to have some ETGs here at Casino Quest. We're getting a craps one, and then a bubble craps and roulette. And,
gonna have slot machines all over.
We are. We're gonna have literally, but to learn, obviously, know. But yeah, so that'll be a good thing. Yeah. What else you got?
Eric Skinner asked, what kind of bankroll do you need to get the attention of a host?
Yeah. So that depends.
In a smaller place, if you buy in for $500, if you went to like Arizona Charlie's or something that's off strip, $500, a host would come over and talk to you, and you would be best buddies. If you buy in for $500 at the Venetian or Wynn, like I said, that's commission on one of the baccarat hands.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I
if you're looking to go, $5,000 is pretty much at a strip place. If you got $5,000 to spend and you made arrangements ahead of time and either made a deposit at the cage, they would definitely have a host to engage you.
Yeah.
But I think for $500, like what's some of like the Joker's Wild and some of those Boulder Highway joints,
Joker's
you'd be
Wild.
King Kong down there for $500.
You need a roll of quarters, man, and some laundry in the car.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
But I mean, to be hosted, it all depends on the level of the joint that you're in.
If you came with your own hand sanitizer to Joker's, I'm sorry, that's terrible.
Come on now.
That's terrible.
We got to send dealers there.
I know. We do send, well, I don't know. No, we don't send dealers there. Joker's Wild?
No.
I'm not sure. No. We've played there before.
That used to be my spot when I first got to town.
Joker's Wild?
I lived in Henderson.
They had $1 game. I mean, they had a quarter game for the longest time. Silverado even, they shut down their damn...
They had a nice breakfast.
Really? Silverado?
No.
Joker's Wild?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Back in the day. I'm talking 30 years ago.
Things have changed, sir.
Yeah,
Things have evolved.
I'm sure.
Yeah, or devolved. Go ahead. What do you got?
So James asks, are dealers asked/required to sell things like the props and side bets to players?
All right, ready? Can I add some
Go
kind of,
for it,
and then I'll
man.
let you. So if you're working at a place where Scott's running, he's going to want those crap dealers to bark it out. I mean, that's their job. Your job on the pole is to advertise proposition bets, remind people of proposition bets. Now, I have actually worked at casinos where either the director or casino manager could care less, and they would have you, in fact, so they just run it differently. So the expectation was low. And
they don't want a crap business.
I mean, it was always amazing to me.
Yeah.
I've even been told to quiet down before.
Really?
As I was sort of yelling up a game, I was calling out to somebody who had just been playing.
I make you team member of the month.
I was trying to generate. We were a dead game. I don't want to stand on a dead game.
I give you the Supers parking spot.
Yeah, the pit manager comes over and tells me to quiet down.
Yeah,
he don't want any action on that table for that minute, or for that shift. He was really just super lazy. But anyways,
side bets on the blackjack game, I don't really encourage hustling them or selling them. But what I do very much encourage that if you've got players betting them and you give them plenty of small chips as a payout. Example, if it's a 10-1 or a 15-1 payout, you always give them 10 or 5 aces. With that, number one, you got a shot at getting a tip, and number two, now they've got plenty to keep betting them because we print money on them side bets also.
God, they did that to me at the Strat the other day. Because I was tipping them.
I give you a stack of grinders.
But she was giving me a stack every time. And of course, I had extra after the tip, and so I threw it up there on the on the light. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, why the hell not?
Well, that's why you want her working for
you. Genius.
She's probably a CEG dealer.
No. She wasn't. She's
probably a CEG graduate.
No, she's fantastic.
Valedictorian.
They have great deals over there.
Cum laude.
Yeah, cum laude, yeah. She's our VIP pack. They're making great money over there, so it's attracted a lot of good. I was actually talking to a guy. I think he came from the Mirage. He was a dealer at the Mirage for 10 years. Now he's dealing at the Strat. They go table for table. So it's they put the customer service on. Next thing you know, they're
imagine that
$300. I mean, yeah, you got if your customer service skills suck at the Strat, you're not making any money. But if you can say hello and thank you and, easy. All right, what else you got?
Mike asks, what can you do when a stickman purposely interferes with the dice throw?
What can you do when the stickman interferes with a dice throw?
Purposely.
So
fire him.
Yeah, you can fire the stickman. So here's the thing with that. So there's got to be some context. So if I'm a stick person and I have a person who's literally trying to not throw the dice to the back wall or throwing the dice short, I will actually interfere and pick up one of the dice and call no roll, especially if I have a box person or a floor supervisor instructing me, listen, this guy needs to get him to the back and he's been told a few times. I will literally, as a stick person, you should interfere because now they're not adhering to the rules of the game. You know what I mean? They're trying to fabricate a roll. They're trying to limit their... So I've had a few people, different casinos, who they'll drop the dice and I'll grab them. You know what I mean? Sure. And interfere because I want to call no roll or grab one of them, want to call no roll.
Right. If it's a no roll situation, that's a different story. But it's like David said, it's got to be in context. But I mean, if there's a knucklehead stick man who just wants to mess up somebody's legitimate dice roll, that's not okay.
No, because you're not supposed to. You can't interfere with a normal roll of the dice.
No.
Because now you're doing exactly what the company doesn't want you to do. They definitely don't want that reputation.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I would get a supervisor. If there's not a boxman, I wouldn't. If you're the shooter, I would wait until a supervisor gets on that game, and make them aware that that the stickman's interfering in the roll. And if they're doing it purposely, then that's a problem.
We gotta have a chat with him.
Yeah, you gotta have to have a chat. And any supervisor worth their salt would do that. Would take them off. Would have somebody else come in and tap them out. All right, what else you got?
David says, what is your view on gambling coming to Texas?
The state of Texas?
I love it.
Okay, so here's the chatter. Mr. Adelson is down there with lobbyists right now, trying to talk to Governor Cotton and get it on. So I think it would be a home run. I think that with a lot of major businesses running to Texas right now, why not Las Vegas Sands?
Literally.
I mean, I think that if they went and approved it and said maybe 3 licenses or 4 licenses and spread it around, that they would get some incredible investment. They would get minimum $2-3 billion investment.
Oh, easy. When Players in Lake Charles open, right on the border, Louisiana and Texas.
Yeah.
It would be. They would have somebody calling.
Well, there you go again, David.
From the road.
You got Texas money leaving the state.
Yeah, leaving the state. Yeah, that could revenue and tax revenue leaving the state. They would call into the casino at Players and tell us how many miles backed up it was. So we had an idea of sort of how many people we had coming in, and this kind of thing. I was always. So they ran out of the tins would empty. They ran out of tins to replace them with. They started using garbage bags. I swear to God. They started dumping the money into garbage bags and marking the garbage bags on the floor. Swear to God. I couldn't believe it. These they had, what were they going to do? They had no tins. They had nowhere to put the money. That's how much money they were collecting.
Who was in charge of ordering tins?
I know, tins. I know. Who did order tins?
Who's a cage guy?
So this is when Resorts, Resorts owned this. This was Merv Griffin. Griffin owned. He actually, before he passed away, I'm not sure when he passed away, but before he passed away, he actually came on tour. I actually saw him. I was only a floor supervisor. Didn't get to say hello or anything, but I saw him over there. And, I mean, the dealers out there were all hired locally. All your dealers were locals. You couldn't hire from out of, even though you wanted Vegas dealers, because these places were like minting money. Yeah. The action was ridiculous, right? So I opened a pit at Bella Baton Rouge, a craps pit, all breaking dealers, $25 games. All breaking dealers, dude. Yeah, I mean, it was tough. It was rough. It was a rough go, but Louisiana, that was a requirement. 90% of your staff had to be locals, and
well,
then
that's
the other
part of the
10%,
deal when they.
That's it.
And they could do the same thing in Texas.
Yeah.
Is that we need.
Yeah.
But I did a guest lecture at North Texas State the other day, earlier in the semester. They have a hospitality program there.
Okay.
And their students are going to the WinStar Casino in Oklahoma.
Okay.
That's where they
Oklahoma
go.
got class 3.
Sure.
They actually asked us to come out there and help them with craps and roulette.
Biggest slot floor in America.
Oh, I met.
Biggest slot floor in America.
So we're rooting for Texas, by the way, and we're trying to get to Dallas. That's one of the first expansion locations for Casino Quest. That's we'd love to go to Dallas. Got a lot of friends out there.
It's an awesome place.
No, I love Austin. I've lived in Austin and San Antonio. I love Texas. Yeah.
We support Texas getting gaming.
Yeah, 100%. If they call any one of us, we're in. All right, what else you got?
Another one from Eric Skinner. If Scott can make his casino, how would he set it up, and what restaurants would be his first choice?
Ooh.
What restaurants would be my first choice?
They're all about food now.
Wow. Well, I would love to be able to get a Chick-fil-A in there.
That's
I would love it.
I would love to own a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a Chick-fil-A in there, the only problem is that off on Sundays deal.
Yeah.
We tried really hard when I was at Palace to get Chick-fil-A in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
Dude, the lines are nonstop.
We couldn't overcome the Sunday deal.
Did you hear about this In-N-Out burger that opened up somewhere and they had
There's fist fights.
12-hour waits? Who waits in line for 12 hours for a hamburger? It makes no sense. The cops were telling people at the end of the line, listen, they're not even going to be open when you show up at the line. Ridiculous. In-N-Out, 12 hours people were waiting, dude.
I think if anybody was looking to start up a casino, and I really mean this, is that they should take a walk over to Ellis Island and see what's going on with their food choices. They have the most amazing barbecue place. There's only 2 items on the menu: chicken and ribs, and they knock it out of the park on both of them. You either want a full rack, a half a rack, a full chicken, or a half a chicken, or a combo.
Yeah.
Either way, that's it.
Yeah.
That's only menu items. Same kind of thing like as In-N-Out. Then they have like the Village Pub. That's their coffee shop.
Yep.
You got to have a Rockstar coffee shop, and I think that breakfast is a really big deal. And I'm a big value guy. Even today, I mean, I could pretty much go any place I want to go.
Yeah.
But I'm always looking for the value. And
Denny's
what Ellis Island does,
Denny's.
and what a bunch of casinos downtown do too, is they have their own brewery.
Yep.
So they're brewing their own beer
that's
in-house.
fantastic. Yep.
So you can give an 18-ounce Dynamite craft beer for $3. Are you kidding me?
And the yard.
The front yard, what they're doing in the front yard. We went there the other day.
It's amazing. So
Yeah.
Ellis has been big with local dealers for a long time.
It was the spot.
Always a spot. The barbecue thing, you used to have to wait. That was the first time I ever saw one of those light up things where they give you have to take that and wait for that thing. Because you used to have to wait. There was always a line.
I took my family there for our little Christmas. We're taking off tomorrow.
Yeah.
I took 8 people to the barbecue.
So back when COVID first hit and everything was opening up, they were the only ones left with the low limit game. People were lining up. People were lining up there to play the games.
They deal $5 3-2 blackjack.
I mean, it's sort of I hate to say a hole in the wall, but it's like it's like that restaurant, that one. I always look for the Chinese restaurant that's in the neighborhood, little hole in the wall. That's the best food. You know what I mean? For me, a lot of times you never know. Ellis has like this whole atmosphere and this whole way of doing business. They kept everything cheap.
Yeah.
Even the pizza they used to, they have. Do they still have Metro?
Metro's in there.
Metro
and
pizza,
they
one
do
of the best.
slices.
Yep.
They do slices.
And it's still relatively inexpensive.
Yeah.
There's no gouging. There's no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a great question. My thing would be is you have to have value. I think a staple thing is to have. Depending on who your crowd is, if you're looking to have a baccarat game, you have to have an Asian offering. You got to have a good noodle bar or something like that where it's quick and people can get in and out. And a steakhouse is a big deal in most of these places. But again, what I'm thinking, if it was Scottstown, if it was my place, Scottstown would be a value-driven operation.
So you'd move a Denny's in.
First thing I would do is I wouldn't be paying. You wouldn't be paying for parking.
Yeah, no parking.
You wouldn't have Denny's, but you'd have a breakfast. you would have a breakfast spot.
Breakfast spot. Denny's has 2, 4, 6 menu, dude. It's all you can eat. Pancakes and that's breakfast.
Scott, just
Anyways,
ignore it.
keep going. Never mind.
I think that what they do there at that Village Pub. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what Mr. Ellis has going on at Ellis Island, if anybody was looking even to go out of state and open up their own relatively small operation, that's the model right now.
Dude, if me and
having
Alex,
your own brewery.
Yep. Me and Alex ever got a casino, it'd be all about all the action, getting a low limit tables. We would never have an empty game.
There'd be no charging for parking.
No charging, no resort fees, none of this nonsense.
There's no dead games
3-2
because
blackjack,
if it has
no
to be
games.
$1 game, we're going to get it started for $1.
That's
and
it.
you're grandfathered in.
Yeah, who cares?
I had a $3 crap table at Palace Station.
Love
they thought
$3
I was
crap
crazy.
table. Yep. I know.
We increased the drop $1 million in a year.
It's amazing. You know, David came there, did the same thing. We had another casino manager before David over there. Went to $5, ran off all this play. New guy comes in, David goes, why not $3? If it brings money in the door. It's like printing money. These people are leaving their money at the casino. No one's playing. No one's putting the game at risk.
I had a $3 game from 3:00 in the morning to 3:00 in the afternoon, and it went
Packed.
from a dead game to being packed.
Packed. Yep. Absolutely. All the time.
And
all day
who
long.
am I looking for? I'm looking to get the crap dealers that just got off work
Yep.
to come take a shot on a $3 game.
And by the way,
because there's no bird game anymore.
We have a lot of players that walk around town. They wonder, how are all these games? And yes, so I can understand. You got Aria. You got that one player's going to come down, play the $100 game for 2 minutes, and you're going to drop more money from him. But these other casinos that are just holding out $25, $50, I realize you can't have a lot of people at the table. But for a minute, let someone come up and play $5 or $10. If you start getting some higher limit action, change the sign. Yeah. You know what I mean? All right. But anyways,
if you and Alex open up a place, I'll buy some stock.
All right, fantastic. Well,
sure.
We can't wait. I mean, that would be a dream come true. That's like the full circle
I'll be a
right there.
stockholder. I want a couple points in that operation.
Yeah. All right, good. Easy. No, that's easy, dude. Those are. Go ahead. What else you got?
5150 says, talk about 25 minimum tables.
25 minimum tables.
$25 minimum games. What
I
do you
mean,
want to know?
they're good if you can have them, if you can hold them, if you got the players to play on them, if you got the dealers that can deal them. They're great.
Yeah.
They're great.
On a blackjack or craps? Some of these.
They just said talk about $25 minimum.
So $25 craps table is ridiculous.
Yeah.
In some of those places, right? I mean, you're looking at.
I think that here was somewhat. If I had, so the greatest chance I had to really do what I wanted to do with a crap pit was at Aria, because we had 12 tables.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So I always had a $100 game. I always had a $25 game.
Right.
And then we had a bunch of 10s. But you got to have that big game, because you got to have, when the big guy comes, he's got to have elbow room.
Yeah.
Even if that game stands dead half the night, if it's $100 or if it's a quarter game and it fires up, you're going to make just as much as those smaller games.
I mean, pre-COVID, that's true. That was always true. A $100 player. I mean, I remember there was a casino locally who we play at. They have a $100 player who comes and they leave it dead. They put it at $100 way before they know, even if it comes early, so no one can play that table. They want to make sure that that table is literally just for him.
Right.
And if somebody else comes
and
up
if you
with
really
$100,
want to be
then
smart, and that's, you make it reserved.
Yeah.
You just lock it up.
Yeah,
you put a stickman, and you break up the crew. You put 2 people on the table.
Just inside.
And a stickman and 1 guy inside.
Yep.
Right. And then when the guy shows, you make a phone call and you make an adjustment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can still deal to that guy with 2 people.
That's it.
The guy can't play both sides of the table.
Thankfully,
right?
Yeah.
And you just make it reserved for him, because the worst thing you want to do is if somebody who really was looking to have a spot and wants to play by themselves.
Yep.
Because then you got that knucklehead who wants to come in and bet on the other side and bet $100 on the don't. Now you got a problem.
Yeah. All right, what else you got?
Kelly Chris says there's several casinos all over the U.S. up for sale, but we see Resorts World spending money and other companies investing in casinos elsewhere. What are your thoughts on casinos post-COVID?
So here's the thing. Here's the one thing. I've heard a couple of things. Number one, everybody on the long game, casino gaming, everybody's in. The companies that with money, with the pile of cash, now's the time to make some great deals, buy into some research, buy into some great real estate. If there's a casino company out there not doing so well, a good chance to, for acquisitions, because it is what it is.
M&A, baby.
But the long game is big. Resorts World still plugging up. They haven't delayed that at all. They
got their foot on the gas. They're too far in.
No, and they expect that COVID, the vaccine will be out. It's going to be incredible timing, by the way.
Yeah.
Because most people will be through the vaccine, and then all of this pent-up demand. So what we've heard is a lot of casino operators that we know on the table game side and the slot side if you're a casino operator, that's kind of where your money's at right now. Your hotels, not so much. Restaurants, not so much. Shows out.
How's those nightclubs doing?
Nightclubs stuck.
How's the day club?
Day clubs not doing so well. The pool, spas, all those things. So you got to run your revenue off the table game floor and the slot floor. You also need to understand that people's attitudes, once once we have the vaccine, people still aren't going to want to sit next to that guy coughing. And you know what I'm saying? There's still going to be some trepidation. You're still going to limit the number of people per game just by default. You're not going to want to, sit there
Which is
great
for our dealers because they're going to have to open more tables.
That's exactly right. So we're expecting there to be quite a lot of demand. And I know there are a lot of casino operators making real Penn Gaming just acquired. Penn Gaming's making invested. So with the long game, big. A lot of pent-up demand. When we reopened here in Vegas in June, there was just lines. You go downtown, you had to wait to get on a table. There's a lot of pent-up demand. Clearly, world's got to, pull out the fire extinguisher. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the regional places are going to do well right away, right?
Yep.
They just started passing out the vaccine today.
Yeah.
So that's all good stuff. And once in Las Vegas, when folks get comfortable to fly, Las Vegas will be back again too. I think the regional places, though, the drive-up places, I think by New Year's they'll have success. We just saw today, Cosmo's getting $500 for New Year's Eve. Aria's $400 rooms for New Year's Eve.
There's still people coming, just no festivities. You got to kind of celebrate them with
no fireworks out there.
No fireworks, nothing. All that was canned. Yeah.
Tough social distancing with 1 million people on the strip.
Yeah, no, that's not it. I don't even like it when we didn't have COVID. You wouldn't see me, But, good question. The long game, big. Vegas always comes back. It always has. And dealers, probably a good time to become a dealer. At least it's a good time if you got some time on your hands. You got nothing else to do.
What I tell my students is this is your time for your self-development.
Yeah.
This is the time to read that book you've been putting off. This is that time. And if you want to be, let's be honest, guys, if you want to be casino managers, this is what I tell my students at UNLV. You got to get your hands dirty. So you're not going to graduate from UNLV and be a casino manager. You're going to graduate from UNLV, maybe get a pit clerk job, maybe get a dealing job. Mm-hmm. So I'm sending them down to see you.
Yeah, we've had a few. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, sir. All right, what else you got?
Roger says, you guys may already explain this, but what are the classes in casinos? Class 1, Class 2, Class 3, etc.
Class 1, let's talk about slot machines. So Class 1 is like arcade games. Class 2 is like pull tabs in your video lottery terminals. Mm-hmm. And Class 3 is your full-blown Vegas-style casino, your jackpots, your random number generator games.
Yeah, so in a Class 2 casino, you're technically playing against yourself. There are 50-50 games, and then the casino charges you a commission to play those games.
It's like pari-mutuel.
So if you're playing a slot machine, you're expected to win almost half of the time, but while you're doing it, you get... So, for example, a Class 2 blackjack game, if you've played one, it's where you go up to a blackjack game, and you're going to play against other players. The casino technically doesn't bank. They just move money around, and you pay a commission for each hand that you pay. Maybe $1, whatever the case is, But Class 3 gaming, you're literally gambling against the casino. You don't have to.
It's wide open.
It's wide open. Yeah, you can have. Plus now Class 2 also, you won't see a roulette wheel. You won't see any of the gaming devices that have to be regulated. So you won't see dice, for example. If you're playing a Class 2 craps game, there's no dice on the game. Class 2 roulette game, there's no roulette wheel. This kind of thing. All right, what do you got?
So Texas fan asks.
Well,
who do we speak to make sure we're being rated correctly at a craps table? What questions should we ask?
So the first thing you do is you walk up to the table and make sure you have a card. Mm-hmm. And then you want to make sure that when you buy in, that the floor supervisor, and it's really tough now, gang, because there's not, back in the day, there was one floorman for each crap table. Now you have one floorman and no boxman, and that floorman's watching multiple tables. So you want to make sure that if it was me, I wouldn't buy in until the floorman was over by the table and I'd introduce myself to him. Hey, how you doing? My name's Scott. Here's my card. I want to play over here. Mm-hmm. And he watches me buy in. Okay? Yep. And then the first thing I want to ask him is, am I going to get rated on my odds? Pass line odds, come bet odds. Because when I'm playing a pass line with the most odds I can get on the pass line, and I'm going to make 2 come bets and get the most odds I can get. And that takes my house advantage down to the bare minimum.
Yep.
So if I'm going to get credit for those odds, I'm going to be excited to play at that place. If he tells me, no, you're just going to get odds, you're just going to get rated on your flat bet, I'm here already.
Yeah.
Let's go.
There's a lot of casinos that only rate on the flat bet.
Yeah.
It really depends where you go.
Depends on where you go.
Especially nowadays, the rating systems are very competitive. That's why we were saying, like, slot machines, it's much more. It's this much in, this much coin in, you get this many points.
Yeah. I've worked at places where we definitely did both.
So,
but and then when players find out that they don't get, what's my average bet? $20. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, we don't rate you on your odds.
So I've had some disputes about my average bet, and I've gone to my host, and my host has corrected it. Has actually been able to go and correct
that's the big beef is the host and the operator, because 9 times out of 10, the player never thinks they got rated right.
Right. Yeah.
They never do. I mean, they always think they're in
they
more.
Yeah.
They're worth more than they really are.
Yeah.
And then when you have situations where, like on double downs and things like that, that's if you got a $10 bet and you double down, you're still a $10 average. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just part of the game.
That's it.
But I had all this money in action. You're a $10 player, man. You're a $10 average.
Yeah.
But that's why it's tough to generate Theo on a table game. Now, roulette, different story. Roulette, you're gonna get better Theo because the house advantage. But then again, are you looking to win money or are you looking to gain comps?
Yeah, there are systems, by the way, that play to each of those. If you're looking to win, create opportunity, that's one thing. If you're looking to grind and get comps, you know what? I used to always just play Pie Gal. I'd sit on a Pie Gal game at the Mirage.
But Pie Gal, they dial it down too.
Yep.
Because of the tie hands.
That's right, because you tie a lot.
Yeah, a lot of ties. And again, the house advantage is, they definitely have a formula. There's a formula. It's their average bet times the hours played, hands per hour, and the game factor, the house advantage on the game, 5.26 versus 1.26.
And nowadays, when they slide your card in, a lot of times they can tell these visual limits machines. They can tell them exactly what you're playing, and then it does it for them. You know what I mean? It tells them the comping status then is sort of set.
Slot players generate much more Theo and generate much more comps than table games players.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, my brother's a host at executive host with Caesars, and he's telling me now that his slot players are really keeping him afloat.
Yeah, good. All right, what else you got? Anything else? All right, we're gonna call a 15 minutes, and then go ahead.
Eric Skinner says, "What's Scott's thoughts on Sands possibly selling off the Palazzo?"
Oh, I know. He announced that he wanted to sell the Venetian Palazzo, get out of Vegas.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, $6 billion.
Well, I would say because of his incredible investments in Macau and his Rockstar operation in Singapore, they've already sold Sands Bethlehem.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would say without knowing their stats, I would bet a lot of money that Las Vegas only generates 20% of their revenue.
Oh, yeah.
Compared with what's going on at Macau and what's going on in Singapore.
By the way, that Singapore casino is fantastic. The way, in fact, just by accident, it came up on my Wikipedia, and the way they built that and how it's like its own island out there in the water, and the way it looks, I mean, it's fantastic. If you guys get a chance, you should look that up, because the construction of that property was lots of innovation went into that. It was like a first of its kind sort of development.
Marina Bay Sands.
Marina Bay, yeah, and
it's unbelievable. So, if I was Mr. Adelson, because I think he's up to here with the governor here in Nevada. I think he's really disappointed in what's going on with the governor. He holds a lot of tickets, but the thing is, somebody like I don't know if MGM's balance sheet can handle it, but maybe that's where Penn Gaming comes in and makes their strip presence. Somebody
Really?
comes in like that. Why not?
Well, they have Trop.
Trop has an
Venetian
incredible.
puts them on the map.
Trop has an incredible location
And a pedigree.
The the goodwill of the name brand and the
Yep.
Trop and everything is worldwide known.
Yep.
But the Trop property and the Venetian Palazzo property are apples and oranges.
Yeah, two different things.
And
yeah.
it's 6,000 rooms.
Yeah, that is a lot of rooms.
6,000 rooms.
I used to love the
3,000
Trop. Used to
each.
be one of my favorite hotel and casinos. All right, what else we got?
Texas fan asks, is it a good time to invest in MGM properties or Caesars?
Man, tough
For
gig.
investment?
Yep.
Wow.
So I would tell you this. In my opinion, I think MGM is a better long-term play than a Caesars. Here's what I know about Caesars, to be honest with you, without any takeaway from all of you people at Caesars. Over the years, Caesars' investment in their own properties has been sort of, when they took over Harrah's and the way they took the money out of the Rio.
It's
or
a
didn't
whole
invest
different ballgame now because they just got purchased by
by
Eldorado.
a regional player.
Yeah, and
so
again,
maybe some
you
of
know,
that'll change.
They've got a whole new philosophy. They got a whole
Really?
new what they really want to do now is, again, and the only reason I can speak to this is because my brother's there, is that he was impressed by. Okay, so my brother works in Atlantic City, so you got Caesars in Atlantic City, and the Caesars properties there. You got Caesars, you have Harrah's. They just sold Bally's. Okay, they had the Wild Wild West there, so they had a couple of offerings there. So they're bringing people to Atlantic City. Before Eldorado, they were bringing people to Atlantic City with the end goal of them creating enough Theo that they earned a free trip to Las Vegas. And my brother's like, I'm working my tail off to get these folks down here.
Atlantic City,
And I don't
keep
want them to
them.
go to Las
Yeah,
Vegas.
yeah.
Spend that trip and have a super duper trip, and we put you in for a rock star vacation at a Caesars or Harrah's property,
Yeah.
So now the Eldorado philosophy is more regional.
Okay.
So I think they know what works in their region, and that's what they're getting down to. And then what they did was there's many of the Caesars properties had a William Hill sports book. They made William Hill an offer they couldn't refuse. We're buying the company. Well, we don't want to sell. Well, then you can get out of all our Caesars properties. Oh, really?
Yeah.
How much do you want to pay? Okay, so they made him an offer they couldn't refuse. I mean, it's dirty pool. It's rough business,
what
but
it
business is business.
Yep.
But, Caesars owns William Hill now.
You know what a good stock play is for a casino? But Penn Gaming still has room to run. Penn Gaming is a regional player. A lot of regional synergy. They're going into, they're following the sportsbook money. When COVID hit, the stock took a huge dump and it's now recovered like $80 a share, I think is when I last looked, but I think it got down to like $3.50, $4 a share. I mean, it's tremendous powerhouse. But I mean, my actually long play would be Penn Gaming. I think Penn Gaming has a lot of room to run. MGM will have to wait and see. MGM's sitting on a pile of cash. It's just now, okay, what are they going to do with that money? All right, what else you got?
Let's see. Eric Skinner asked, what's the best part to watch Super Bowl in Las Vegas?
What's the best what?
Place to watch the Super Bowl in Las Vegas.
There's only one place. That's Aria.
Really?
Aria made a big investment when they first opened
Uh-huh.
and bought all these beautiful couches.
Oh, really?
And they set it up and they do an unbelievable.
On the sports book? In the
No,
sports
they
book?
they do it in the grand ballroom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you get a ticket,
Because the
if
sports
you
book
get
in Aria is small.
if you get an invitation, you want to go. You want to for a Super Bowl party.
They just said, what's the best place to watch the Super
If you get an invitation, and you can get an invitation, if you can somehow get into Aria's Super Bowl party, that's number one party. Okay. That ain't no popcorn party.
Yeah, no.
There ain't no popcorn. There ain't no hot dogs there. Okay. There's prawns and there's the vodka coming down the ice sculpture that you just put your glass on.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, it's top
fantastic.
shelf. Yeah,
top shelf.
It's off the map.
All right, so what sports book would you hang out in to watch Super Bowl?
Oh man, I'll tell you what.
We saw the World Series at Circa.
It's going to be hard for me to say anything's better than Circa because going down to Circa was unbelievable. That was a great.
Westgate, the Hilton, that super sports book used to be a great place.
It's a cool spot. I mean, that used to be my number one spot.
Yeah.
But you know what's the problem with the number one spot? They're so crowded and you can't move and it's hard to get a drink. And if you don't get there at 7 o'clock in the morning, you don't have a seat. What I like, make my reservation and pay up front like they have at Circa.
Oh, yeah.
You can get online and say, that's the seat I want to sit in. And
really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's bad. And those seats are comfy.
Yeah.
I know. They had that.
And here's the best part.
Yeah.
Is say it's $40 and you tell them like what hours that you want to be there.
Yeah.
And say if it's $40, that $40 goes to your spend for food and beverage.
That's even better.
Yeah.
And those seats are easy to get in and out.
They just don't want stiff sitting in there taking up spots and smoking cigarettes.
No, I understand that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And running the waitress.
By the way, those screens were like crystal.
So if you're coming to town and you don't have an invite, I would say do your best to go to Circa. Number 2 would be to Westgate.
Westgate, yeah, the Superbook there, a lot of room. All right, what else? Anything else? Because we're about to let's do one more.
We have a couple questions.
Oh, really? Well, let's fire them off.
Okay.
Let's see. We got 5 minutes.
It says, have people been banned from casinos by simply playing a crap system without cheating, basically because they haven't
A
lost
crap
much?
system? No, not a thing. No,
I haven't seen anybody ask not to play craps.
No. I have never, by the way, so, well, we won't get into that. But, yeah, so if you're winning, you're not going to get walked off for winning. It's not a thing. So back in the day, the mob would be like, hey, you've had enough and try. But with corporations, they don't care. People have won millions of dollars on table games everywhere, and they just take their licks. That's what they're in the business for. Used to have Kerry Packer come in and walk with a ton of money. I mean, they took his action and he would win, and that was the thing. All right, what else you got?
NZ says, which slot machines would you recommend playing?
Oh, I like double diamonds, 2 coins in.
Old school.
I like old school, and I can read the flipping line. I don't have to track 100 lines. That's another thing. I love Wheel of Fortune machines. I love Monopoly. I love machines with lots of...
You like the old school brand?
I like the old school. I like red, white, and blues, 3 reels.
What's more old school than that?
I know. I mean, that's
Blazing
the classics.
Sevens,
Blazing Sevens. Oh, where they had everybody had their own their own top pay. Yeah, Blazing Sevens. I used to play those. Westward Ho. I worked there at Change, and I saw this lady hit 3 of those in a row.
I think it's all depends on what you're into. If you're a video poker guy, I would say get on a Game King machine because you can change the different games that you want to play.
We got a Game King coming here.
You got a bunch of machines.
We got a lot of machines, but we have Game King coming. We're going to be playing them.
We can't talk about that yet, can we?
Can't. Well, we sort of can.
Is the deal signed?
It's all signed.
Okay.
We're going to 6,000 square feet. We have 2,100 slot machines coming in from a different, well, maybe not 2,100, but anyways, a ton of slot machines.
And to think I only knew Alex when he was just a pup.
I know.
You know?
We've come a long way. 3 years ago, 1,000 square feet. Now look at us, YouTube. Do we have
number
like more
one
than 5
gaming school
people?
in the country, gang.
How many people do we have? Like 10, 20 people? How many people do we have?
As students or
No, how many people
on
streaming?
the staff?
Streaming?
Yeah.
We were at 169 at one point.
That's a good number.
Right now.
Perfect. All right, well, all right. We're almost going because we got lunch and eat. He's got a plane to catch, by the way.
How about we do 5 more questions? Okay.
5 more? Oh.
Let's do 5 more.
Let's do the rest of my list. There's like
go.
4 more.
All right, go.
Okay.
Fire away.
Wants to see Scott play the 30-roll challenge. That's all he said.
The 30-roll craps challenge. You won't be back for a couple weeks.
I can't get an invitation.
Are you kidding me? You have an open invitation anytime.
You know how hard it is to get on that. You know how hard it is. There's a wait list to get on that.
There has been though. We've actually had we have people coming down, not every day, but most of the days.
I promise you, I'll come down.
When you come down,
when I get back, we'll do it before the semester starts.
I can't wait to see you. I might have you just deal it yourself. We'll just turn a camera on. You can deal your own action.
You let me deal my own?
You deal your own action. Yeah. All right. What else you got?
It says, what casino do you think has the best comp systems these days on table games?
Oh man.
Comps on table games is tough everywhere.
Yeah.
It's tough everywhere. My thing is, be the big fish in the small pond. You know, wherever you're going to go. Don't go to the big bad place. Go to the little place and make yourself known and stay loyal to that place. Because if you're, everybody has a bankroll.
Yep.
But if you want to play at Palace one day and then you want to go to Gold Coast the next day and then you want to go down on the Strip, you're all diluted and you're going to get nothing from 3 places.
That's a really good point.
If you
stay at the same.
Stay at the same place.
Find a place that has the games you like.
Find it where you like, but make sure they're playing the games you like and the rules are fair.
Yeah. So we have. So I will add to that one of the local places that has tried to become real competitive with like comping tables is Westgate. Recently, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Apart from
I
that,
get mail from them.
we've had a relationship with the Strat. I was just given so they sent me the other day like a free Uber or a free Lyft to go to the casino. That's kind of interesting.
It's like a limo.
Like,
They're sending you
hey,
a limo.
they're literally sending me a limo. So that was the first time.
Where's Eric from?
Eric, I think he's from Hawaii.
Yeah, Eric's from Hawaii.
Really?
Yeah, he can meet you there, dude. He can like meet you as you
Tell
get
him
off
we
the
can
plane.
have lunch.
He's
Island is he
He's
on?
a fantastic fan. He's come out here quite a bit.
I know. I'm pretty sure it's Hawaii.
He
He's a
loves
big fan
dice.
of
A
ours.
lot of dice. These are from a lot of dice. A lot of craftspeople. Built up
Yeah.
quite the cadre.
I'll be on the Big Island for 21 days.
Yeah, for a while. You're not coming back for a while. Yeah. All right. What else you
we
got?
could have lunch if Eric's
Yeah.
on the Big
Last
Island.
question. Lorenzo asks, "What is the first step to moving into casino management positions?"
Oh, good one.
The first step is do a great job
Mm-hmm.
when you hit the door. Is do a really good job. Get your hands dirty. Be on time.
Yep.
Show up early. Be on time.
Yep.
Have a great attitude, and let them know that you're looking to move up.
That's it. By
Because
the
the
way,
boss doesn't have a crystal ball.
that's it.
You know, the boss does not know what your dream is. And if you make it clear, and trust me, if you come in and you're on time and you light up that place with your big smile and you give great service to the tough players, everybody can give great service to the easy players.
That's it.
But if you can
Yep.
give great service to the tough players, that's going to catch everybody's attention. And then the boss is going to come up and tell you, nice job. And then what you want to do is say, can I get an appointment? Can I get an appointment? He's going to say, you don't need an appointment. You talk to me right now. I'm interested in moving up. Whatever. I'm receptive to training. I'd like to get training because, gang, when you can get training in some of these casinos, that's the greatest education you're going to get. And what I try to do is some of the best training modules that I've gotten from stations and MGM. I transcend that training into my lessons at UNLV in a lot of theory.
By the way, station is a great example. So let's say, the first step really is you got to be a dealer. This is one of those businesses where you really have to have some skin in the game. You have to know what a dealer goes through, how cash moves around the table, how the cards move around, all the things that are a consideration because when you move up and you become a pit boss or a shift manager, you have to know what considerations are in play, from the dealers. I mean, it's one of those things where you can't start in management. You can't just go, let's say, to UNLV, graduate UNLV's school, and then boom, you're a pit manager. You can't be a pit manager without knowing how to mic the dice, for example, or how the dice are
How to
signed off on
settle
the
a
table.
beef.
How to settle a beef. And
How
what
are you
the
going to
beef,
settle the beef?
yeah, if you don't know what the odds are, what the beef. A lot of times, so we tell people, by the way, me and Alex have this whole thing about this, about sort of advancing in the casino business. It's on the CG school. I don't know. It's one of the videos we have, but there's different types of management, right? So like you can be a manager downtown pretty quickly. People have offered jobs very, very fast. In fact, like lower end casinos, 6 months in. You might be dual rate or a floor supervisor because they're really desperate to move people into those categories. Now, if you go to a station casinos, they put you on a path. They might make you, once you become a dealer, you might be a trainer. You might be like a dealer ambassador type of thing. They actually have an upgraded type of dealer where you help train other dealers that are coming in. So it reinforces a job coach, right? And then they give you a dual rate. Then a few days a week, you start coming in as a supervisor. They assign you to one of the other supervisors who kind of watches over you, make sure you learn how to do the paperwork and the fills and credits.
Trust me, they want to see you move up.
Yep.
They want to see you move up. If I'm running the joint, I've got a group of dealers that all they want to do is come in and deal. That's cool because I need dealers, but I also need supervisors. And there's nothing better than having your own homegrown supervisor, someone who come from a reputable dealing school, and now they're dealing in my place. They know my policy, our policies and procedures. They know the expectations of management, and now they want to be part of that team. No problem. It's going to be a very receptive thing. Number one, they don't want you to leave. They don't want you to leave.
That's right.
So if they don't promote you or give you an opportunity, you're going to go someplace where they will, right?
Right.
So if you got an operation, my thing was always extend the bench. I want to constantly be extending the bench. And my number two guy, I would tell him, I would say it every day. In case I get hit by a bus tomorrow, I need you to know exactly what I'm trying to do here.
You know, there's no secrets. A really good boss is going to want to extend the bench and have a succession plan because the next big place that opens, a lot of people are going to take off. And you need to backfill these spots
That's
right
why
away.
I ended up working 13 casinos in my career. You know, I always went for the envelope. Back in the day, it was the bigger envelope across the street. I had no loyalty. There was no path. And Station, that's true. We talk about Station a lot. They've been a very good partner with us. They've done a lot of job fairs here. Station Casinos, they have what's called a celebration. So when you get hired by them, you go through this sort of, they introduce you to, you know, the work environment. And one of the things that they do, which is, I wouldn't say unique, some other properties do it, but they show you a story of someone who started at, you know, maybe in sanitation on the back of the house, ended up becoming a dealer. Next thing you know, they're a shift boss and a casino manager, a director. I mean, they have quite a few people at the highest levels of Station that started in the bingo hall doing whatever.
And what's great about that company also is there's multiple properties.
Right.
It's so hard. I mean, and I don't want to call out the Cosmo because they do a tremendous job, but how are you going to be casino manager at the Cosmo?
Yeah,
there's only one Cosmo.
Yeah, there's only one guy.
You know, and until Brian retires, he's going to be the boss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's a lot
and
of...
he's still a relatively young guy.
No, there's also a lot of lateral types of things. Like if you work for a place like MGM, for example, or MGM Properties or Station Casinos, and let's say you start out as a dealer, but now you get an accounting degree, well, now maybe you can work as an accountant. I have someone, a girl that I know, who she started out as a dealer, and now she is she works in, auditing. She's an auditor, and she's doing great. She loves it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, there's compliance. There's surveillance.
Surveillance.
You know, there's a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch of things. You know, you got your compliance because Title 31 is a really big deal. Your AML program has to be tight. So there's always opportunities. I mean, you know, but my big thing is the boss doesn't have a crystal ball. Let them know that you're interested.
Yeah, that's it. You got to say something because otherwise you're just any other dealer on the floor. And it's not like kissing ass or anything like that. You can just pull them aside, pull your shift boss aside.
You just let him know, like,
I'm interested in being a supervisor.
Right, because he doesn't want you to go down the street and be a supervisor.
That's it. And you do what we always recommend is that you put some time in. If you stop your dealing clock after 6 months, let's say, and you end up as a floor supervisor, you've only ever been a 6-month dealer, and now you're kind of stuck. You get to the strip, they want to see they want to see some real dealing experience in order to be considered for those sort of higher end supervisors. They want to know you've dealt with every situation at every range of the game, and you can't get there in 6 months. They used to say on dice, for example, it used to be you were a break-in dealer for the first 2 years or so. Then at 2 years, you could move up and get a little better downtown, maybe early strip. But you needed 5 years to kind of really know the game.
I didn't go. I went the full a year. It took me a year before I could go home and say, I don't think I made a mistake tonight.
Yep.
They never had to stop the game because somebody had a problem or there was no beef on my end.
Yep.
A year.
Yeah. So that's a lot.
That's a lot of shifts.
I mean, there's a lot of mistakes in the crap table. Even now,
I
make
lot of
mistakes
rolls.
all the time.
Yeah.
It's unavoidable. But so I mean, that's the path. I mean, that's a path. You know.
What else you got over there? Give me
you got
one
anything
more.
else? One more. Big one.
Someone really wants you to explain the ratings on Baccarat.
That's you're gonna have to
Ratings on Baccarat?
Because I sleep through those.
It's really easy. It's average bet. Your average bet times the hands per hour. They figure 80 hands on Baccarat.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Good Lord. I don't know. I don't know anything about Baccarat.
That's like 1.2 hands a minute.
Oh, yeah. Well, no,
Right?
no, 80 hands. No, that's about right. No, they do over 100 on Blackjack does. Yeah, they rate
Better.
them.
They
on
do
MGM.
400 on Blackjack.
Yeah, no, they have,
Okay.
big. Yeah.
So it's your average bet times the hands per hour would say 80 times the blackjack factor, the Baccarat factor 1.26. And
Really?
that's going to give you that number is what we think you're going to lose.
Wow.
And then we take that number, that's your theoretical loss.
Oh, okay.
Then we take that number and we can comp easily
Your
10%.
Theo.
That's your Theo.
Yeah.
We can give you 10, 20% of your Theo.
Okay. Wow.
Now, if you do that same formula
Yeah.
and you plug in 5.26
On
instead
the
of
roulette, you're getting a lot more
1.26,
comps.
you're going to get a much more larger theoretical loss, and then I can give you more. I can send the
just by playing.
Learjet.
So
I can
basically,
send the
lose all
Learjet.
your money on roulette. Don't worry about Bacc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We used to tell roulette players, just mail us the check and save the gas money.
Really? I can't win on roulette to save my life. They've worked out
It's
some
mathematically
impossible. I mean, but Alex went and played this one system 11 times in a row and won 10.
awesome.
I mean, anyways. Baccarat, I can't get my head around the
There's
Bacc.
not
By
too
the way,
many holes in these games.
what do you think about? Yeah, no, it's just not.
There's
They
not
keep
too
these
many
nice,
holes in these
pristine.
games.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, they can afford new layout every couple months. What do you think about noodles at the table? Like, I know a lot of casinos now, they bring the noodles right up. They feed you right there.
food?
The food right at the game.
If I could hook players up to a cathra, I
And
would. So they would,
diapers.
and diapers, so they wouldn't have to go to. I mean,
That's true.
Yeah, you don't want them to leave the table.
No, you don't want them. I mean,
You
if they go
don't
to
want
pee,
players to
they
leave
may
the
be
table.
distracted by something else.
Yeah,
You
they
never
might
know.
meet their girlfriend, go upstairs. I mean,
No,
it's
be
like,
done.
come on, forget about it.
No, diapers and a catheter, fantastic. That's all. I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh my god, I've had guys at the dice game with cut diapers.
Well, here's the best part, because we change the cards in Baccarat all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't care what you do to the cards. You're ripping them in half. I mean, they're squeezing the cards.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care if you have noodles or a sandwich or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I brought the food to the table because I didn't want them to.
Yeah.
I had a menu at Palace.
Yeah, Palace.
At Palace, I put a little menu that you could get like with little finger sandwich, this, that, whatever you want.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How long ago was that? I was there playing Keno one time.
2016, I left.
Oh, so I was there when they were rolling up these big things that they put to kind of be as a way station for the food for the very first time. I happened to be playing Keno there, and I saw them bringing out all these things that they were going to start using to serve food.
Yeah.
And
we
people
serve
no
food
way.
in Saipan too.
Really? But that's sort of new to Vegas. I mean, well, the last like 5 years or so. You know what I mean? But that's fantastic.
You should see what goes on in these VIP rooms, man.
Oh, well, that I'm sure. Pretty much everything, dude. I've heard stories, dude.
I can tell you stories.
One of these days you're gonna have to do that.
The food in the VIP rooms,
I'm sure it's
when that's the
fantastic.
salon stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, you don't want the players to leave.
Yeah.
Why would you want them to sit down for a 2.5 hour dinner?
No,
when you can bring them shrimp cocktail right
there.
right there to the
Really?
table.
Oh, I need
yeah,
to make a
come
lot
on.
of money. I've never really been in a VIP room. I've been a dealer on a VIP boat, charity boat, and I got to eat with everyone. Because I mean, the dealers, we all got to eat with the actual people on the
That's
crew.
cool.
It's lobster and shrimp. It was fantastic.
Nice.
All right, what else? Anything else? I think we're out.
You want one last question?
One last question.
Sure.
Why
Then
not?
I got to
All
get
right.
on the plane.
Yeah.
Nathan Films asks, are big casino robberies a real thing, like in the movies?
Big casino robberies?
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready? Here you go. What do you think?
Well,
Should we share?
Yeah. Well, I know of casino robberies. Yes, they happen. Now,
Yep.
Ocean's 11, that kind of nonsense. No, that's not happening.
I don't think.
But robbing the cage
Yeah.
or coming up to the crap table
Yeah.
and saying, "Give me all the chips."
Yeah.
That happened at the Bellagio.
Yeah.
The motorcycle bandit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one guy got away for years, by the way, with one of the Brinks trucks. So they picked up at a casino, and then he robbed it, and then he went to his airport and flew away. And amazingly, the guy flew back and let himself be arrested because he missed his family. Remember that one? Remember that story? Or the guy from the Luxor the guy at the Luxor once, the Luxor opens, and a guy goes in there and he robs one of the, this is back when they were still using silver and doing hopper fills.
Yeah.
He grabs a bag of silver, and he's a bigger guy. And a bag of silver, that's 1,000. It's heavy as hell. And of course, apparently has a heart attack as he's, running off. But yeah, Ocean's.
What a shame.
I mean, what the karma on that poor bastard.
Yeah. But no, there was a team that was robbing cages for a while.
Oh yeah.
Coming out of California, and the motorcycle bandit one case was the most famous one. But what this knucklehead did was he took the $25,000 chips.
Yeah.
So it's just so easy. Like, any casino worth their salt, and I think every one of them probably has a backup set of the bigger chips.
Yeah.
So if you've been robbed, you can instantly take those off the floor, put the backup set on, and then when the big chips come back in, the old ones, where'd you get them from? And if we don't know who you are, we're not cashing you out.
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, they track them now. They have the RFIDs.
Yeah,
they know who you are.
There's a lot easier ways to make money than rob casinos.
So interestingly, a lot of these stories don't make the news. There are two things that don't make the news: jumpers and robberies here in Vegas, typically, because Vegas doesn't want you to really know that a lot of this stuff, because there's a lot more people that I don't know. Should we say this? There are things that go on in Vegas, I guess. That just it's quite stunning.
I've never heard it.
What's interesting is they kind of like went. They said screw it during COVID. They started reporting on there were a few incidents out here.
It was crazy here.
It was crazy. But by the way, everybody was asking, hey, is it safe to come to Vegas? Are we going to get robbed? Or it was a gangbangers.
When's the last time you heard that?
It was it was because the strip is really safe for the most part. Metro does a fantastic job of we can't have that kind of behavior. It was mostly like gangs getting into beefs with each other and having issues. It was unrelated to mostly anyone else unless you happen to be in the middle of it. But like all the shootings that happened, the shootings that happened, the few that there were, and some of the stabbing.
There was more than one.
There was more than one. It was only related to like these people were in it, with each other. You know what I mean? It wasn't like some random tourist got shot on the strip or this kind of thing. But it's safe here, man. I mean, you don't see that kind of stuff. But
I would like to see metal detectors.
Oh, metal detectors would be good, dude.
I would really like to see. In Macau, we had them.
Yeah.
Every place you walk in Macau, you go through a metal detector.
So what do you think is the safest casino in Vegas right now? Safest, hands down.
Whoever's
the Wynn.
Well,
gotta be the safest place.
The Wynn had a problem.
Yeah.
And then they stepped it up big time.
Yep.
And
they
because
they didn't
want to tolerate the problem anymore. Yep. I know that when I first walked in on opening night at the Venetian, that I got a chance to shake Sheldon's hand, and he had literally machine gun armed guards.
Venetian too, yeah.
Yeah, Venetian's got the facial recognition. No. Yeah, there ain't no terrorist walking in the Venetian.
So all right, so not to give away Sheldon's thing, but when same time I worked at Mercedes-Benz, Sheldon was buying this Maybach. And let me tell you, so normally you can pull up whoever's buying any car, you can kind of pull it up on the computer and see how much it is. This car was the one car ever.
Market price.
It's
like buying lobster in a hotel in a market price.
Yeah, just nothing. You couldn't pull it up. So what I heard was he paid $800,000 for this Maybach car. This is what I heard, rumor, third hand maybe. No, kind of second hand because I worked there. And this thing had like you could put a mine under it and blow it up and it wouldn't. The car would be intact. You might not be able to drive the car, but it would still be intact. So but it was the one car ever that I could pull up SLRs. Fertitas came in about 2 SLRs back then, and I could punch those up and see the ridiculously expensive $500,000 cars. But this one Maybach that Sheldon bought, you could not click on it, nothing. All you could do is see it, but nothing else. It was so weird. But anyways. Yes, we're done. All right, we got to wrap this up, go to bed. He's got to catch a plane off to Hawaii. Sir, it's always a pleasure. I can't tell you how I just love the fact that you're here and, we know you.
Just give me a call. I'm always here.
And we have UNLV. I mean, this has literally been one of the greatest. I never thought in a million years I would end up on this side. I'll be honest with you. I thought I would be a struggling dealer or have issues and here I am. And it's just fantastic.
I'm really proud of you guys and what you got going on. It's you're doing a great job, putting a lot of people to work, doing it the right way too. Because as an operator, and now being an educator, I really appreciate the product that's coming out of CEG and what you guys got going on with Casino Quest and what your relationship with Mr. Looney and what's going to be happening with that is just going to be off the charts.
No, it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Proud of you guys.
And the casinos love it. They're in. They don't mind having educated players. They don't mind you stopping by, learning how to play. They want you to know.
They really appreciate break-in dealers that can handle the.
They love that. They love that. That's true.
They're coming here.
This is why we have job fairs with we have a circle. This is why this place is evolved. We might have another school here soon. Quite and thanks to a lot of you guys, a lot of you fans. Thanks for plugging in so much. And I look forward to next week. So next week, Wednesday, 6:30 Pacific, we're going to have all our staff. So we're going to have, we're even going to try to keep Becky here late. And so everybody can ask, because Becky broke in at the Lady Luck in 1972, dude. She's been around a long time. But Lady Luck's not even a thing. It's a Downtown Grand took over that space. Remember the Lady Luck dollar everything? They had the first food court.
I was in the Luck.
Oh, you were?
I made it there. 1989, I was working at the Golden Nugget before the Mirage opened.
If you were a dealer downtown back then, you went to the Luck for the cheap food.
All this.
They had a little food court. It was the first one that had
awesome.
like a little food court. Yeah, no, classic
Downtown
Vegas.
was great.
All right, guys. Take
Thanks,
care.
guys. Take care.
We'll see you.
Appreciate